Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
How the MHSAA educates both new and existing athletic directors, and how to watch MHSAA finals from 10, 20, even 70 years ago today. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. The start of a new school year is an extremely busy one for athletic directors, especially first-time ADs. Starting in mid-August, the MHSAA offers an in-person new AD orientation that every first-time AD attends. There is also an update meeting for all athletic directors and school administrators that starts this week. The update meeting is held in 7 different locations throughout the state. The first is in Kalamazoo, and the final one in Marquette in mid-October. This is the 46th year of the update meeting, and it's a great opportunity for school leaders to hear from the MHSAA's Executive Director, Mark Ewell, on the direction of the association. The meeting also provides an opportunity for administrators to ask questions and discuss any recent changes to the MHSAA's rules and regulations. One other way that new ADs are supported, and this is a brand new program, is the AD Connect program. 8 recently retired athletic directors are serving as mentors to first-time ADs, helping them understand the ins and outs of being an AD and being there to assist them with any questions they have. The AD Connect program is led by Assistant Director Brad Bush and the Executive Director of the MIAA, Karen Lenar. It's time for Game Balls, where we highlight a trio of standout performances from this past week. First, Liam Smith of Muskegon Reese Puffer. He became the school's all-time leading soccer scorer by netting 4 times in a shutout win over Muskegon. Smith now has 77 career goals and counting for Reese Puffer. Lansing Sexton quarterback Joseph Pizzo, he threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for another in a 48-12 win over Olivet. The win moves Sexton to 3-0 for the first time since 2017. And the Midland Dow swimmer Emmy Sauer, she helped lead Dow to wins over Flint Powers and Saginaw Heritage, turning in the fastest times in the 100 butterfly and backstroke and being on 2 winning relay teams.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
In basketball, when a player is inbounding the ball, his or her feet have to be behind the line when passing the ball. Their feet cannot be touching the line. But in soccer, a player just has to be on the line to complete a throw-in, even if their heels are both barely touching the line and the majority of their body is in the field of play. It is considered a legal soccer throw-in if any part of both feet are either touching the line or are behind the line, including if the player does a somersault or a front flip style throw-in. As long as they flip and land with both feet on or behind the line and throw the ball, it is a legal throw-in.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. Did you know? Hundreds of past MHSAA finals are available to watch on our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/user/MHSAA sports or click the YouTube icon on the front page of MHSAA.com. And then in no time, you can be rewatching the 2012 Division III Boys Soccer Final or the 1993 Class C Volleyball Final. And of course, we have a ton of football and basketball games archived, including the 1977 Class A boys basketball final won by Lansing Everett and Irvin Johnson, back when he was first getting known as Magic. There's even footage from the 1949 Class B basketball final between Coldwater and River Rouge that you can watch. That was a game played nearly 75 years ago. If there's a game you want to watch again or watch for the first time, find it on our YouTube channel. And if a game you're looking for isn't there, keep checking back. We add new games each week. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
Give to Jaden Terry, start step up the middle of the field, 40, big hole 50, he's gone 45, at the 30, left sideline 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Jaden Terry. The tank with an answer. Give read option keeper, whole bunch of space, at the 40, got the 35, 30, up the middle of the field, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Bryce Underwood. And welcome to game night. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Tim with you here. Taking it at the 14-yard line with a feet offset by Tyson Mann. Shimmies over the 30. Burst of speed at the 40. Right sideline 50. Able to get away from a tackle. Walking the tightrope at the 30. 25-20. All alone. 10-5. Touchdown Grandville. Snap to Underwood from the gun. Fake handoff on the RPO. Thrown left side. Caught Yarbrough. Sidesteps the defender at the 5. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown Belleville. The Tigers put it away. 34-17. They're going to go back-to-back. Fake handoff, keeper left side over the 45-yard line, upside the number to the 40, 35-30, left sideline 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, 7 touchdowns for Mason McKenzie, and Caledonia has just about served this one up on ice. And hello everyone, and welcome to Bulldog Stadium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. And we could not be more excited to be with you tonight, as we are unbelievably excited, and we're proud, I think, to say as well, to present our first ever complete video coverage broadcast of football here on Michigan Game Night. It's Grandville, it's East Kentwood in an OK Red clash tonight. By the way, you also can hear our voices, and we'll be hearing our voices shortly on the Grandville Athletics YouTube feed, and that broadcast going as well. We're so excited to be able to bring you this coverage with camera on the field, and we are ready to go. But CT, let's get into this game. For Grandville, 2-1 on the year. They got the win against Grand Haven last time out. East Kentwood, they lost last time out, or heartbreaker really, in a game that they led pretty considerably early against Hudsonville, ultimately fell in that one. Take us through some of the things that we're looking at in this contest.
Yeah, two teams that had kind of complete opposite previous games. Last week against Grand Haven, the Bulldogs, a dicey first quarter, down a score a couple times, able to come back, right the ship. Final 3 quarters, turn that game around, end up winning it pretty comfortably for East Kentwood. Against a very good Hudsonville team, was up a couple scores and ended up letting that one get away, losing the close game there. So kind of opposite trajectories, but both teams, this is going to be their biggest test of the OK Red so far. This is still early on in the season, of course, but biggest test for either one, and seeing where they're measuring up against some of the OK Red competition.
Yeah, start of a back-to-back stretch here at home for the Bulldogs. It's the rival of Hudsonville coming in next week. We will have video coverage. I will have video coverage. He actually won't be here for this one, but we will have video coverage on the whole for that one coming up a week from tonight as well. But the OK Red slate rolls on, and it is an absolute gauntlet. As always, we got a lot to get to here on the Farmers Insurance pregame show. Let's step aside. When we come back, we're going to hear from Grandville senior safety Avon Cott, was our guest this week on the Tailgate Report and also on the pregame show.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back, everyone, to MGN, and welcome to our Captain's Corner segment here on Game Night. Very, very pleased for our first Captain's Corner segment of the year to be joined by Avon Cott, Grandville's senior defensive back and in particular safety, who has done such a great job out there for the last couple years for the Bulldogs. First off, Avon, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing very, very well, thank you. And, of course, excited to get to talk to you. Coming off a really solid win. Starting off the OK Red season with a win and beating a Grand Haven team that I think is a much improved Grand Haven team in a lot of ways from what they maybe were even a year ago, and provided some challenge in that way as well. I guess just kind of give some of your first thoughts on getting that first OK Red win, and taking care of business on the road as well against Grand Haven.
Yeah, it feels great to get that first win for us after coming off that Davison loss. And then, obviously, they have been improved. So, we struggled in the beginning with a couple mistakes, but in the second half, we were able to pick it up and pull that win off, which felt great for us. And now we're going 1-0 on the OK Red.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's, you mentioned kind of, those couple mistakes and early on, it was a lot of times it was even special teams that kind of put you guys behind early. Tell me about how important it was, not just to get the win, but to get the win in a fashion of digging out of a hole like that. Because with some of the big-time opponents you're going to have, it's always really important to be able to have one of those kind of bounce-back wins where you just keep fighting.
Yeah, so on the special teams, we had a couple miscommunication over on the left side. And then that's what resulted in the touchdown. But we knew what we had to do, so we talked about it, made the mistakes not happen anymore, so we were able to only keep them to one score in the second half.
No, absolutely. It was really impressive to watch that. I think your role as a leader within this defense, and we saw you last year, of course, start to play a big role in the secondary at safety, but you had several seniors that were obviously around you playing a really big role a year ago. Those guys are gone now. That turns you kind of, in a lot of ways, into the one of the kind of quarterbacks, quote unquote, of this defense. Tell me about the leadership role that you felt yourself having to step into, playing safety on this very multiple kind of tricky defensive system, helping bring along some other first year starters that are alongside you out there.
Yeah, it's kind of different because last year I came in as one of the only ones that haven't been playing back there. So it's new this year for me since we got all the youngins, but all summer we were able to grind it out and be able to get our chemistry. So, and going from here on out, it should be pretty good back there.
Yeah,
and has been good so far.
Yeah, for sure. And we're kind of seeing some of their growth. Tell me a little bit about playing defense under KJ Landis. Both, him as a guy, such a great guy, such a great coach, but also this system. It puts you in a lot of different places. It makes you think. Past players have told me that too. It really makes you think as a player in that secondary, playing that game so effectively, with the offense. Tell me a little bit about playing for KJ and then also playing in his system.
Yeah, Coach Landis, he's just a great dude overall, and I loved him as a coach so far. And he's brought me up, and I've gotten reps with him since sophomore year, which I love doing. And the defensive wise, he likes doing a lot of different things, but he knows what to call and when to call it. And as us DBs back there, he doesn't want us overthinking everything. He just wants us to do it. He just wants us to play ball like how we play ball. So
yeah,
it's been great with him.
I've been really impressed watching you. Chandler and I have both talked about this, on the air. Your ability to cover ground, to make tackles on plays where, you seem to be roving from way off the ball and able to either limit damage or even make a stop around the backfield or around the line of scrimmage. Tell me about how much of that is kind of a focus in your game and something you pride yourself on, and being able to kind of be that roving safety sometimes and be the guy that can clean up a lot of things on the defensive side of the ball with always pretty sure-handed tackling.
Yeah, so the tackling part, we work on that every day, and I just know that once I read my keys, and when I read my keys right, I can make the right plays happen at the right time. So if I see a run, then I just know I got to come down, fill the alley quick, and help my team out. Yeah,
absolutely. Avon Cott, senior safety for the Grandville Bulldogs, joining us here on Captain's Corner and on MGN. All right, let's kind of look forward a little bit here as you're kind of beginning your senior year and moving on. And this is something we've always kind of asked Guys, what are right now kind of some of your thoughts in terms of college plans, major, so on and so forth, maybe playing sports at the next level, possibly? What are some of your thoughts right now in the regard in terms of looking ahead?
So next year I plan on going to college to play either football or track.
Yep.
I'm not sure yet, and I'm not sure on what school. And I probably plan to major in some type of business thing.
Okay, that is awesome. I mean, obviously you got plenty of time. I think I changed what school I was, quote unquote, committed to. Certainly wasn't an athlete, but like 4 times before I got to May, where I finally decided where I was ultimately going to. All right, let's wrap this thing up and let's look ahead. East Kentwood, you talked about, as on your side of the ball, of course, a very multiple defense that you guys play. Well, the same can be said for East Kentwood on the offensive side of the ball. They are very multiple with single back and I-form and some shotgun spread stuff that they are going to throw at you, and a lot of different players, both out wide, couple running backs, experienced quarterback in Casey Joppy. Tell me about some of your thoughts in terms of just kind of some of those things that you're prepping for going into this game for East Kentwood, and a team that I think really is going to create quite the chess match for you guys as a defensive unit.
Yeah, so we know that they got good athletes all around, all receivers and running backs, and their QB he doesn't really like throwing like how running like how they did last year, but he's got arm talent, and we've just been prepping, working on all the schemes that they run with their different formations and being able to execute, filling down and being able to cover, and knowing our jobs as not only secondary, but also the linebackers to help communicate with us.
Yeah, and actually one last question that kind of puts a bow on the whole thing. Tell me about this stretch run that you guys are getting into now, because you've got East Kentwood. We know how tough the OK Red is, but you have East Kentwood, and then Hudsonville, and then a couple weeks later, Caledonia and Rockford. I mean, this is the time of year where you guys really, really, week after week, have to be ready, and it truly turns into that just 1 week at a time grind, and this is kind of what you guys live for, so to speak, for sure.
Yeah, this OK Red definitely isn't easy for us, and not for any team. And so we just look forward to the next game, because that's our biggest game of the year, is just that next one. And we're just prepping day by day and week by week, and just get better every day. And then hopefully we go undefeated and win the conference for us.
All right, sounds great. Avon Cott, Grandville senior safety, joined us here on Captain Corner. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck out there on Friday night.
Yep, thank you guys.
The 76 Diner and Truck Stop would like to invite you and your families to come and check out their diner. With locations in both Byron Center and Coopersville, they're a great place to stop before or after the game. They have a wide variety of menu choices to feed all the kids. They serve breakfast hot all day, and they're able to accommodate all of your large group needs. Their full menu is available for takeout orders, and they have online ordering at 76truckstopdiner.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. A class is elected each year and then honored at an induction ceremony in the fall. They also prevent annual events in support of West Michigan.
167 horsepower, candy red, 8 cylinders of freedom. And to think, he only let me drive it once. I've never considered myself to be a lucky man. That would be Dad. He didn't know a thing about cars, couldn't tell a hatchback from a quarterback. But somehow his just kept going, and going, and going, and going. Turns out Dad wasn't lucky. He just knew where to look.
Michigan Athletics, and they raise funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow them on Facebook or check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grshof.com.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
167 horsepower, candy red, 8 cylinders of freedom. And to think, he only let me drive it once. I've never considered myself to be a lucky man. That would be Dad. He didn't know a thing about cars, couldn't tell a hatchback from a quarterback. But somehow his just kept going, and going, and going, and going. Turns out Dad wasn't lucky. He just knew where to look.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio and the Farmers Insurance pregame show. The Centennial Securities pregame show. And here come the Grandville Bulldogs as they get ready for their matchup here tonight. First home conference game of the year for the Bulldogs CT. A lot to get to here as we'll work our way through this pregame show. But the first main talking point we talked about a lot on our Tailgate Report podcast earlier in the week is this idea of the Grandville multiple defense versus the East Kentwood multiple offense. We know what the Grandville offense looks like. We know how teams try to attack it. But the East Kentwood offense, the Grandville defense, they both like to be multiple. They both like to do a lot of different things. It's going to be fascinating all night long, that matchup.
It's really going to be a unique matchup when you've got a defense that, of course, we know the Bulldogs. They like to mix things up. They move guys around the field defensively. Will show different fronts, shift the line around, show a lot of different things throughout the course of the game. But this East Kentwood offense does a lot of the same thing, a lot of the same ideas there. It's different formations, different players on the field. They'll spread you out. They'll throw some more compact sets in there, some bigger bodies, and move things around depending on where they are in the field.
All right, national anthem on deck. We're going to step aside and be right back. Saying thanks for tuning into the Centennial Securities pregame show.
Michigan Hearing Experts sell and service several brands of hearing aids. Are you having trouble having a conversation or unable to hear the latest play of the game? We perform comprehensive hearing exams and use real ear measurements to ensure optimal functioning hearing aids for your unique needs. Our highly trained doctors of audiology are dedicated to helping you reconnect with your world. Visit MichiganHearingExperts.com to find a location near you and take the first step towards better hearing with Michigan Hearing Experts.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Have you recently collided with a deer or been caught in an unfortunate accident? Don't worry, Car Center Collision and Glass is your trusted partner to bring your vehicle back to life. With convenient branches in Cedar Springs, Burton Heights, Alpine, and Big Rapids, we're right around the corner to provide expert assistance. From collision repairs to mechanical fixes, we're your one-stop solution for all your car needs. Check us out at carcentermi.com. Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Grandville. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timber with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Grandville, East Kentwood, second OK Red contest of the year. Grandville 2-1 on the year, 1-0 in the red after their win over Grand Haven a week ago. It was a loss to Hudsonville in the 1-2 record for East Kentwood as they come into this one. Coin toss coming up at center field. Remember, throughout this game, we are going to be looking for the Car Center hit of the game, along with the Farmers Insurance play of the game, the Centennial Securities winning game plan, best call of the game, best play call of the game. Also, the Rainbow Grill will be presenting our Player of the Game award. Tonight's head coaches are Eric Stiegel in his 10th season for the Grandville Bulldogs and Tony Kimbrough for the East Kentwood Falcons. That's tonight's head coaches presented by Sporting U. Sporting U, you think it, we ink it. We have what you need to look your best. Check them out at sportingu.com. And this week's Family Fare tailgate special is fresh, all-natural, boneless, skinless chicken breast or chicken wings for only $2.47 a pound. Visit shopfamilyfare.com for all of the details. Big start to this one, of course, for Chandler, or big start for both teams in this one, Chandler. Big start for you as well, coming up. But the one thing about this game, we talked about the defense for Grandville versus the offensive. East Kentwood elements the multiple nature of both of those units. I want to also talk about the running back battle because these teams are both deep and very, very stout at the running back position.
Yeah, they are. For the Bulldogs, of course, starting three in the backfield of the T, Sadinsky, Kopko, Terry, each have really developed in their role early on in the season and have looked good throughout the first couple weeks. But on the East Kentwood side as well, Conda and Jones, a nice blend of speed and power there that for some of the formations that we've talked about and that they like to run, they are able to mix those guys in and use them effectively as well.
Yeah, and they'll do a lot of different things with them. The Bulldogs, obviously, in the home maroon to the white pants maroon, classic Grandville helmet with the block G on the side, 3 white stripes down the center. This week, a little bit different alternate traveling uniform. East Kentwood's got a lot of different options that they roll out in the uniform department this week. They have got the traveling whites with the black top and bottom in that unit. Fresh 12 on the clock, and we are just about ready to go in this one. Chandler, talk about the importance, I think, of the start of this one for both of these teams. I think they definitely are going to want a I think this is going to be the kind of contest where both of these teams getting off to a strong start, controlling the early part of the game, going to be very big, especially for Grandville starting on the defensive side of the ball here, which is a little bit unusual for them.
It is a little bit, and I think right away trying to overcome some of the issues they had in the first quarter, especially on special teams, opportunity to try to prove that that's behind them. They've been able to finish the game last week with a strong 3 quarters, but trying to right out of the gate be ready to go on all 3 phases. For East Kentwood, I think, too, offense that at times has struggled to put up points. A first drive here, pretty crucial for them to set the tone.
Absolutely. All right, Jake Karanen, the sophomores, got on the tee for the Bulldogs. Elijah Jones at the 15-yard line, the deep man. They may have that Bulldog short pooch kicking game scouted a little bit right here. Karanen will get ready to send it away for the very odd Grandville opening kickoff. We have not seen that very much in all of our time covering Grandville football. Karanen right leg through the ball, and we are underway. Jones will track it down and muff it into the end zone, and that ball will have crossed that goal line and come out to the 20-yard line. So here comes this East Kentwood attack for their senior quarterback, Casey Joppy, 6'1" guy, multi-year starter, athletic. He's a Saginaw Valley State baseball commit. They've got a pair of great running backs in Conda and Jones that you talked about. A ton of receivers out wide. This is a very, very skilled, and as we said, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second as well, a very multiple unit that can find a lot of different ways to beat you. And defensive coordinator KJ Landis for the Bulldogs going to have to come up with a lot of ways to try to pressure them and cover them down the field. So it will be Joppy to open up, and they'll open out of the gun, and they'll open with LSA Conda, who's a kid that's got multiple GLIAC level D2 offers on the table. Joppy throws incomplete over the 30-yard line as he was looking for Gabe Wolf, and that also will be a perfect time to bring up a little bit of a talking point about this offense, Chandler, and this East Kentwood multiple offense. They find a way to do a lot of different things to beat you for sure.
Yeah, they do. They've got multiple formations, as you can see there. Run some single back, a little bit more power in the I form. They can run the football out of that, but then also spread the football out a lot in the gun and pistol. Can throw the ball around, too, when they need.
Joppy back to the gun. We'll continue to revisit that, of course, throughout the night as they match up against this multiple Grandville unit. They're going to pitch out to LSA Conda, the senior, to the 20-yard line, and he is corralled from behind just shy of the 25. A ton of Bulldogs, including Ethan Newville, ranging out there to bring him down. It'll be 3rd down as we tick under 11:40 to go. 3rd and 6, the official mark right here on the first drive for the Falcons.
Yeah, the incompletion on first down hurts for the Falcons. It was open. The slant route dropped. Now running the football on second down. Picks up a couple yards, but third and longer here looks like going to, for the time being, at least run an empty set out of the gun.
They will go empty. They'll go 5 wide receivers as Joppy mixes things up, and the Bulldogs arrange their defense as well. And there's going to be an offside coming, or a false start coming right here. An early jump from Shamar White, the senior, on the near side of the field, as there was a lot of miscommunication from the start right there, Chandler, as they try to get that set up. As 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, going to turn into 3rd and very long.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to go up-tempo just a little bit and ended up getting ahead of themselves. A couple receivers on the strong side, the trip side of the formation there, jumped. Looked like they were trying to maybe go to a hard count and try to get the Bulldogs to jump instead. The entire offense not on the same page and backs them up 5.
Such a huge night across Michigan Sports Radio as well. Of course, many eyeballs will be on that Caledonia-Rockford game, and for good reason. We'll have score updates coming up from the live scores page on the Michigan Sports Radio site as well. Conda stays in the backfield for Casey Joppy, the senior quarterback. They'll spread him 4 wide this time. It'll be Joppy on the read option. He's got a break over the 35-yard line, just shy of the 40, where it took a second-level hit to eventually wrestle him down. And that'll move the chains for East Kentwood.
Yeah, the Falcons catching the Bulldogs off guard there, running it out of the gun. Middle of the field opens wide open. He's able to go right between the hashes. The Bulldogs defense looked like they were completely not expecting the run game there.
Joppy back to the sideline. And again, we talked about this as a multiple offense so far. They've been starting out of the gun. They've been starting spread, and they go back to the 4 wide receivers right here. Dogs will bring 4 on the front line to counter Joppy here. The athletic senior, Conda, his big, tough tailback stays alongside. They put New in motion and fake it to him. Second level give. Conda wrapped up with nowhere to go in the backfield. Coming off the edge, it was Brett Becker on the tackle. Braylon Haney was all over the play as well. That's a loss on first down.
Work by the defensive line there, immediately in the backfield. Read option going to leave the edge unblocked there, able to step right up. And whether the quarterback, Joppy, kept it or handed it off there, either way, the tackle immediately made sets him back on first down.
This front line for the Bulldogs, Moody, Kubzak, Jackson, and Becker, along with all the other cast of characters that rotate in, have been so important so far for this defense trying to get pressure, as once again Coach Kimbrell and company will spread the field 5 wide here for Joppy in the gun. Near side cornerback Jackson Sanchez, 2 interceptions already on the air. It's thrown and caught by Conda in the flat. He's got it to the 45-yard line, where he's wrestled down by the outside sophomore backer Garrett Naraki. 3rd down coming up for the Falcons. Good job there by Naraki in space to rally and make that tackle. And those are some of the places where we really have seen this Grandville young linebacking core getting a lot better throughout the early part of the season.
Yeah, able to get out there in space, make the tackle on the running back as a linebacker.
Joppy working quickly in Grandville with Graverson and Braylon Haney showing a little bit of pressure right here. It's Graverson looking to come up the middle. Charlie Nichols, the sophomore center, faced up against him as that pressure was being shown, and Joppy will reset them. They stick 4 wide with the trips to the far side of the field at the top of your camera. Tailback is Conda. Joppy throwing on a leap. Caught just past the first down marker. That'll move the chains for the Falcons. Grab made by Tace Gordon, the speedy junior wide out and slot man. So once again, it's a 3rd down conversion. It feels a lot like some of what Grand Haven did a week ago against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, so far able to move the chains there. Pretty smart route from Gordon on the outside, just running the hitch, goes just past the chains, stops on the dime. Joppy delivers the ball. Pretty good timing.
And here is our first look at the under center single back formation. They go with a bunch wide receiver look off the left side of the line, and they will pitch it out here to Conda. Conda over the 50, able to break a tackle and just get past the 45 for a gain of a couple of yards. Emory Moody had, I think, the first piece of his shoelaces, and Garrett Naraki will get credited with the tackle. So good job by Naraki hunting him down again on that play. 2nd and 8 from the Grandville 44 as the Falcons have broken into Bulldog territory on their first drive of this game. Joppy will go back to the gun after we saw the pitch out off their first look from an under center formation. Ethan Brown, the senior, is the wing off the left side. Drop to pass off the fake handoff. Rolling. Joppy firing deep right side, and it's broken up and incomplete. It was intended down the sideline for the streaking junior, Gabe Wolf. Good coverage, and another 3rd down coming up right here with 7.5 to go in the first. It's 3rd and 8 this time.
Joppy wanted to get the route coming across formation in the flat, but that was pretty well covered. Had a little bit of pressure in his face and decided to throw it deep down the field, but good coverage by Avon Cott down along the boundary, able to stay right along with the receiver there, get a hand up and bat it. down, an incomplete pass, and now another third and pretty long for the Falcons.
I asked David about it in my interview with him. You may have heard in the pregame show. He is so good at ranging in coverage and making both tackles especially, but also plays like that. And you see it, and this is such a multiple secondary as well. A lot of guys will play a lot of different roles. Back to a 3-receiver set from the gun. Joppy dropped a pass on 3rd and 8. Pressure coming over the middle. That's incomplete as he was looking for the outstretched arms of Ethan Brown, and it will bring up 4th down and 8.
Yeah, Brown was wide open running the seam route. Hole in the middle of the defense, but Bulldogs brought some pressure. Naraki was coming free off the left side. Joppy sees that, and then even though Naraki was unable to get there, had to rush that throw and throw it a little bit high.
So Grandville will bring Carson Kopko out as they're going to be expecting a punt, and they will be getting a punt right here. Ryan Moore, the senior, will get ready to send this away for the Falcons as Kopko backs down to his 10-yard line. So good job of the Grandville defense after a couple of conversions, able to get the stop this time, and they will get the football. A fair catch from just past the 15-yard line for Kopko, and the Grandville offense will get ready to come on the field for the first time in this game. Next fall, Calvin University debuts its intercollegiate football program, and practice is already underway for head coach Trent Figg and the Knights. This fall, catch Michigan Sports Radio's coverage of the Knights countdown to kickoff with the debut of Figg on Football, a monthly show and live broadcast of Calvin football's fall intra-squad game on September 30. That's Calvin University football on Michigan Sports Radio. Cash Ruff and company out for the first time for the Bulldogs in this one. That terrific running back unit of Terry, Kopko, and Sadinsky, all with a touchdown, all very, very good behind this great offensive line. A week ago in a 42-20 win, the Bulldogs will work it off the left side right here to Sadinsky, and he's able to get a couple of yards on first down. But like I said, Chandler, this is a team a week ago for Grandville. This running back unit absolutely ran wild. Jaden Terry with 2 touchdowns, now 600-plus yards. Kopko got a trap TD, and Sadinsky was incredible.
Yeah, each back successful in their own way. Of course, you see the big numbers in total yardage with a couple touchdowns for Jaden Terry. Long run for Carson Kopko, something that I've been waiting to see from the Bulldogs offense. You know that trap play is always going to be there, and Sadinsky being the short yardage, 3rd, 4th down, and goal line back, able to get in the end zone multiple times too.
And they did not throw the ball or did not complete a pass. I don't think they even threw the ball outside of some 2-point conversion attempts. So it was a very efficient run game, and it's what completely led them in that contest. Cash Ruff getting the words in and getting the unit set. It'll be a stretch play here to Sadinsky, bouncing outside the 20, and Sadinsky gets to nearly the 25-yard line before Stellan Bowman makes the stop, and Bowman Chandler will lead every level of this defense. A Ohio University 3-star commit, 6 foot, 210 pounds, and he will do everything for this defense, especially against the Grandville running attack. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Very talented linebacker for the Falcons, a guy that's going to have a big role in trying to shut down the Bulldogs' run game, guy that can try to plug some of those holes along the defensive line, come up and deliver some hits.
Saw our first score update from the Red tonight. Quick lead for Grand Haven over Hudsonville. So they're doing it again in that contest like they did to the Bulldogs a week ago. Here's a turn and a give. It's Sadinsky again, and he's going to be up to the 25, only shy of the first down. A decision time, and it'll be a quick decision to make for the Bulldogs. They've got about 1.5 yards to get right here, and they're going to try to get it. So big early conversion coming up for the Bulldogs offense, who are pounding it with Sadinsky early on this first drive.
Yeah, Sadinsky, strong tackle from the inside of the Falcons line, wrapped him up. It looked like he was going to have enough momentum to get through, but backed up in their own territory quite a ways. The Bulldogs are going to go for it.
It's a give again to Sadinsky, and he's got the power to the 30-yard line. He'll move the chains. Terrence Kabanda, the junior, making the tackle. It's all Ethan Sadinsky right now, and the junior looking really good on that carry as well.
Yeah, no hesitation. The Bulldogs go for it. Sadinsky strong through the line, easily breaks through, never a doubt on that one, pushes forward and actually gets 5.
We tick under 5 minutes here to go in the first quarter. Ruff and company back to work. He went to the hard count. He now looks back to head coach Eric Stigo for the call right here, and he will relay it. Again, the backs, Kopko in the middle of Terry and Easton Sadinsky. Give up the middle, pushing over with a nice stiff arm. Kopko on his feet to the 45-yard line. Sent out of bounds by Wolf. First down. Good run for Carson Kopko on his first carry of the game, able to shimmy into the open field a little bit.
Yeah, early on, there's the fullback run there, breaking free. Kopko initially has to hesitate just a little bit, but then blocking develops down the field, and he breaks a pretty big gain.
Bulldogs working with a little bit of pace right here under center. Goes Ruff, and he goes back to Coach Stiegel as well. Defense crowding, and you see it, 5 on the front line right here for a big Falcons front unit. It's a stretch to Jaden Terry. The sophomore, for the first time, is brought down to the backfield. The free safety, Gabe Wolf, chasing him down to the 50. It'll be a loss of 3 on first down there for Jaden Terry's first touch of the game. 4:15 and less in the first.
Terry was just going to try to outrun that one to the right side, but Bowman and Wolf both there extending the edge of that defense, unable to allow Terry to turn the corner there. Good pursuit in the open field.
So far, a bit of a grinding start to this one for certain as the Bulldogs again back to the 2 tight end tee. Medeiros and Gibson Connolly, the tight ends to open. Carson Kopko over the 35 or 45-yard line, falling to the 42. He had that hole on the trap open and nearly found a way to open it up, but it'll be 3rd and 7 here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of different versions of that run, the same style of fullback trap up the middle. The first one was a more slow developing, Kopko chopping the feet and eventually finding the opening. That one was a quick hitter, the middle of the field opening up. Kopko bursts through. That's where the vision and the fullback position important there, knowing when to go.
Actually, a little bit different tight end unit. Right now it's Connolly and Naraki. So Medeiros remains on the sideline. Coach Stiegel doesn't like something about how they aligned as his grinding drive continues. 3rd and 7 coming up for the Bulldogs in just a moment. We're going to step aside. Be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
Royal is fun. Royal is teamwork. Royal is growth. Royal is innovative. Royal is we are Royal.
This is the pizza the other guys wish they could make. Keep dreaming. Jets. Better, because it has to be.
Welcome back to Grandville. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timworthy here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. A 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. It will be a give here right up the middle to Carson Kopko. Bulldogs not able to get that one free right up the middle. And it'll make it a 4th and short here for the Bulldogs, coming up very, very big inside of this East Kentwood defense. Caleb Sanders, the 270-pound senior. Sean Delano, the junior. And in the middle, Michael Zua, 5'8" senior, 320 pounds, will soak up everything in the middle of what typically is a base 3-4 defense. But as you see, going to that big 5-man front against the Grandville T. The Bulldogs have a 4th and 2 coming up right here, and they will be going for it. Ruff will turn. It's a quarterback keeper. It's Ruff to the left side, and he'll be around the first down marker. We'll see what the mark is. Bowman helped chase him out along the sideline. The mark's going to be big, and I think the mark is going to give him just enough to the 35, which was the line to gain. That's going to be the mark, and that'll move the chains on the number for Cash Ruff and the Bulldogs. Good tough run there from the senior. We haven't seen Grandville run him a ton early in the year, Chandler, but we certainly know the athleticism that Cash Ruff can bring to the table in the run game.
I think definitely an added element that we'll see from the Bulldogs as the season goes along. They've been saving that one a little bit, using them at times. They're in a crucial 4th down, able to get just enough.
Ruff under center, out of the tee. East Kentwood goes to a 4-down front this time. It's a give to Jaden Terry, the sophomore, breaking over the 30 with a nice move and wrestled down to the 28-yard line. It took the entire pile to stand him up. Savante Scott Jr., the senior linebacker, edge rusher, and fullback, making that stop right there for the Falcons. Good run for 7 for Jaden on first down. We took under 2 minutes to go, and a very old-school feeling Grandville attack early.
The Bulldogs have been able to convert a couple 3rd and 4th downs, keep the ball moving, and approaching the red zone now.
Ruff will work him again. Naraki, the tight end, along with Connolly. As Ruff went to the hard count, Jackson, Wiley, DeHaan, Becker, and Weiss start across the offensive line for the Bulldogs in this one. East Kentwood brings a 5-down front on 2nd and 3 from the 28-yard line. It is Kopko dragging and pushing past the 25. He will have the first down. It's a good job by Kopko to move the chains. And Grandville just plucking away as we tick under 120 here to go in the first game. This feels like a circa maybe 2018 type Grandville drive, and right now just taking some time off the clock, controlling the football, as looks like Weiss lost his helmet, and that's going to bring Kubzak on here for the Bulldogs offensive line. Of course, we're looking for Grandville's offense. They've stayed all T so far, but we saw against Grand Haven late in that when the Bulldogs started pulling a couple different formations, couple different tricks up their sleeve, and they'll stick with the T, and we'll stick with the same unit as well. As Kentwood brings a 4 down front. It's a give on to Sadinsky, who falls over the 20-yard line. Kabanda making the tackle off the edge. And they'll get him inside the 20 to 19-yard line. It'll be a 2nd and 6 here for the Bulldogs.
Early on, it's been Sadinsky leading the way in carries with 5, Kopko with 4, and Jaden Terry with 2, using a pretty strong balance. Sadinsky, another strong run there on first down, a gain of 4 yards. You'll take that. The Bulldogs getting that nice chunk on a run on first down. Sets them up pretty well the rest of the drive.
Weiss back in as a 6'4" senior quarterback, goes to work rough. He gives it to a jumping Jaden Terry, who's just up for about a yard. I think you wanted to see the sophomore being a little bit careful right there. He's battled some lower leg injuries to start the year, and you may want him to be on his feet. And we have reached the end of the first quarter. We saw an East Kentwood drive, and we saw about 3/4 of a Grandville drive. And we've gotten to the end of one. We'll be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
At Sporting U, we know the quality and service our customers are looking for, and we make sure we deliver. Whether it's uniforms, embroidered or screen-printed apparel, promotional products, or a company web store, Sporting U has an experienced team, phenomenal suppliers, and in-house production to make it all happen seamlessly. You think it, we ink it. Our team is here to help your team stand out. Find out more at sportingu.com. That's sporting and the letter U.com.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer back with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Thanks to everyone tuning in through the Grandville Athletics YouTube page as well, the Michigan Game Night YouTube page. Remember, you may be tuned in here this evening. Fresh 12 minutes on the board and a 3rd and 5 for the Grandville offense. No score in this one through the first quarter of play. Cash Ruff will turn and give this one onto a charging Kopko, and he's got the first down and move the chains once again on the 3rd down as this grinding drive continues for the Bulldogs right now early in this half. The second quarter is brought to you by Michigan ENT and Allergy Specialists. Their physicians specialize in allergy treatments, helping you find relief and get back into the game. So Ruff in from the sideline, and right now the kind of drive, if you're trying to beat him in a little bit, trying to control the clock, trying to do what Grandville's offense likes to do, I think Coach Stiegel's got to be pretty happy with his CT. Ruff will get ready to go to work. Terry, Kopko, Sadinsky, the backs. It's a quick turn by Cash Ruff, and he's wrestled down before he's really ever able to turn the corner. He's got the 10-yard line before he was brought in by Sean Delano, the junior edge rusher. So 2nd and 8 from the 10 here for the Bulldogs. A little bit of a unique play design right there.
Yeah, different look than we've usually seen from the Bulldogs in the quarterback run game. Usually more of a bootleg on the fake handoff. Tried to sell look like a play action than the quarterback keeper. That time just a straight turnaround. Ruff never gives a fake handoff. Just turns and tries to get to the right side. Gets through the line of scrimmage, but not much more.
Still looking for our first points of this one. Naraki and Connolly stay at tight end. Cash Ruff will run the offense against a 5-down front right here. 2 high safeties for the EK defense. It's a pitch to Carson Kopko. Kopko stuttering to the 5-yard line, and he's ridden out of bounds by Stellan Bowman as he's able to get to the outside and get it down to around the 5 for the Bulldogs and around the first down marker.
The Bulldogs mixing it up now in the red zone. It's been a lot of Kopko up the middle on the fullback run. It's been pretty productive. He's averaging over 9 yards a carry, and then mixing it up now here and getting the pitch on the fullback to the outside instead of up through the middle of the defense. Picks up 5.
Definitely a little bit of a varied offensive approach from the Bulldogs, continuing as they pluck their way down the football field. 10.5 to go here in the first half, second quarter. It's been fast moving. There's whistles down, and there's going to be a false start coming against the Bulldogs, so that'll take away that last progress we saw. And that false start will bring the Bulldogs back to the 10-yard line. It'll turn 3rd and 3 into 3rd and 8 and change your play calling here maybe just a little bit.
Potentially could. Definitely, we're in a good spot, 3rd and 3. A very manageable 3rd down for this offense, the way that they've been moving the ball on the ground so far. Now you're back 5 yards. Still a chance here. You pick up 3 or 4 on a run, you could do the exact same thing once again, but see if the Bulldogs maybe want to break out their play-action pass game that we have yet to see tonight.
Of course, want to thank Farmers Insurance and Centennial Securities for their constant support of Michigan Game Night. The primary part of why we're able to be here. The Bulldogs stack the tight ends to the right side. That's Naraki standing up, and it's going to be a give on the stretch to Jaden Terry, bottling past the 5, pushing into the end zone. Touchdown, Grandville. Touchdown, Jaden Terry. What a run by the sophomore, and he is in again. Touchdown run number 9 on the year for Jaden, and it's 6-0 Bulldogs.
Terry able to push off a couple defenders as he stretched it to the right side. Able to bounce off and keep his feet going. Looked like he was going to be able to pick up the first down regardless, but then that extra power to finish and get into the end zone puts the Bulldogs on the board.
All right, Dogs will go for 2, as you typically expect them to do. They didn't do that during the Davison game, and Jake Kiernan was very good on the extra points, but they go back to the traditional 2 tight end T right here. And Cash Ruff will run the offense to the 2-point conversion play. It's going to be a pass off the fake handoff to Terry, thrown wide open. Easton Sadinsky, the grab. 8-0 Grandville with 10:21 in the second quarter. We will be right back from Bulldog Stadium as the Dogs strike first.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Hey, football fans, West Michigan plumbers, fitters, and service trades local Union 174 is taking applications for apprenticeship from October 16th through October 27th. UA Local 174 apprentices earn great wages, excellent benefits, and paid training. Serving West Michigan since 1891. Find more information at ua174.org. That's ua174.org.
All right, welcome back to Grandville. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. And Chandler, a long grinding drive for the Bulldogs ends in a very, very familiar way and a very good run from Jaden Terry to find his way into the end zone on the stretch play. Jake Kiernan will send this one on away. It'll be chased down by Elijah Jones from around the 20-yard line. Jones breaking it up past the 30 on his feet to the 35-yard line. And we will see Casey Joppy and this East Kentwood attack find their way on the field for the second time tonight. They've not had many chances as they're already here to the midway point nearly of this second quarter play. But again, CT, like I said, grinding tough drive for the Bulldogs. It ends in points, and it ends with a very, very familiar call that we have now had 9 times this season with Jaden Terry finding the end zone.
Yeah, strong start both sides of the ball for the Bulldogs. Defensively gave up some yardage, allowed the Falcons to move the ball, but stood strong as the Falcons started to get near the red zone, got a stop, and the offense taking up a lot of time, able to get some points on the board and put a little bit more pressure on the Falcons.
You're going to revisit the multiple offense. It's pretty much just been that gun and pistol attack. We've seen one single back play that they've brought out, and they'll go with an empty backfield right here. They motion Kanda. It's a throw from Joppy out into the flat, and it's hauled in just shy of the 40-yard line. A nice gang tackle made by Sanchez and company to cut down the slot man, Amon Edmonds, the sophomore right there. That was Edmonds, by the way, in motion. And he'll get about 4 yards on first down, 2nd and 6, with 9:50 to go in the second quarter. And Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here tonight on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Casey Joppy will direct the offense as they'll go back to the under center single back. LSA Conda, the senior, 6 foot, 200-pound real bruiser, but he's got a lot of speed as well in the backfield. They motion the H, and it's a throw out into the flat, hauled in by Shamar White, and the senior has got it around the first down marker, and he will move the chains over here. He was sent backwards by Jackson Sanchez and company out of that Grandville secondary. Good tackle from Sanchez, who has been the Bulldogs' ball hawk for sure in this secondary early in the season. Back-to-back games with a pick for the Bulldogs senior, who didn't see a lot of play last year, I should say. But boy, he's been a big part of this defense in the early portions of 2023.
And there you see the Falcons offense go to the single back, more of a running formation, showing that they're going to do that instead. The quick pass out to the outside gets the first down.
Back to an empty backfield, 5 wide set right here for Casey Joppi as he looks to the sideline. This is one part of their game we didn't see a ton of through the first couple weeks of the year in terms of some of the highlights of this team. So finding one more different multiple part of their attack as Joppi's trying to get the offensive unit set. Joppi, the senior, looking downfield. There was a lot of contact from all levels down the field, and a penalty marker is going to come out. They're going to get either Newville or Haney, who were the Bulldogs that were bouncing off the intended target. That'll be a defensive pass interference, and that will move the chains here for EK. Coach Stiegel may not like the call, but it's going to go against his unit, you would assume, right here.
Yeah, it looked like Haney was the one that had the shove as it was passing off the receiver. He was just going to lose the step, trying to go along with him as Newville was trying to pick him up. Shoved him a little bit before the ball got there and moved the chains for the Falcons.
So the Bulldogs give up 15 free yards right here, and East Kentwood will move into enemy territory. They were able to find their way down the Grandville side of the ball, the first drive of their game before things just started to stall out there a little bit. Joppi will get ready to go back to work right here out of the gun. He'll motion now under center. Conda the tailback. They'll give it to him, and he's got nowhere to go. Garrett Naraki and company meet him in the backfield for a loss of a couple. The Bulldog defense has certainly had the run game snuffed out in the early part of this game.
Multiple Bulldogs in the backfield there. Carson Kubzak, part of the attack there, able to immediately wrapped up Conda, and 3 or 4 more bodies flying in there, making sure he wasn't able to break free.
Kendrick New, the senior, will join the receiving core out wide along with Caden Holt and Shamara White to the left side. Conda also motions out into the left slot. Empty backfield on 2nd and 12 right here for Casey Joppi. Bulldogs bring the 4 down front, and here is Joppi. Looking downfield, leaping grab made by New. He's got the 30-yard line, and he'll be right around the mark to move the chains. That was the 29. They give him the 29, and that'll move the chains on the number. The tackle made by Miguel Rojas, the Bulldog Jr. But again, East Kentwood, long conversions been their mark of the night so far.
Yeah, they've been able to hit on quite a few of those mid-range throws there. Smart routes and play calling by the offense there to go run right to the chains, turn around in the soft spot in the coverage. And Joppi delivering a ball at the chest right there so he could catch it and turn upfield.
8-0 Grandville with 7.5 to go, and Casey Joppi back under center. They stack the right side of the line. It's a pitch to Conda, faked. Joppi going deep to the end zone, incomplete, overthrown as he was trying to find the streaking Caden Holt. They'll bring up 2nd and 10 as East Kentwood taking a shot, and they had a good look at Holt down the field as well off that fake pitch.
Yeah, definitely got the defense to bite for a second on the fake pitch, thinking the run was going to be going to the strong side of the field and to the right. But a pretty good recovery by the back end, able to stay with the 2 receivers going down the field. Joppi had to try to loft it way over the top and ended up overthrowing it.
I could tell you were thinking about saying got you to bite on the fake as well right there, because they did even get me a little bit on that one, as Joppi will go back to the shotgun here to go to work here from the 29-yard line. 2nd and 10. Joppi surveying, looking for Holt, leaping grab through a pair of Bulldogs, made first down as he went over top of Jackson Sanchez. Great job to reach and grab it and bring it in for the first for Caden Holt, and another chain mover for the Falcons.
Yeah, the throw was high, but Holt just going up and getting it and then maintaining possession of the football as the hit was delivered by the corner.
6:50 and less to go. Joppi getting his formation set once more, and he'll work from the gun one more time here on another 1st and 10 look for the traveling Falcons. 8-0 the Grandville lead, and a quick moving start to this football game for certain. Joppi delayed give on to Conda on the option. He's got it up just shy of the 10-yard line. Reed Graverson making the stop on the inside of the defense. Very delayed give, and pretty clearly a zone read that the read was give, and they got pretty good yardage of about 5, and exactly 5 on first down to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, Yeah, one of the bigger runs of the night for Conda to this point. And the read able to break free in the middle of the line. Got to the second level before he was wrapped up.
6:05 and less to go. The clock ticking in this second quarter. Grandville's drive started about 9 minutes or so to go in that first quarter of play. They drug it all the way into the start of the second quarter. Now East Kentwood taking their time, driving it down the field right here as Casey Joppy will spread them 5 wide. Conda, the tailback, will motion out of the slot to the hip of Joppy. And they'll give it to him again. LSA Conda to the 10. Burst of speed. Touchdown, East Kentwood. It's Conda, the terrific senior, breaking past a couple of defenders into the open field. We know him as a power back, but he shows the speed right there as well. EK with a chance to either get within one or tie it with a 2-point conversion right here.
Yeah, very strong possession from the Falcons responding. Down 8-0, able to move down the field, passing the football, spreading it out quite a bit to get into the red zone, and then you see some of the more powerful running style, still out of the spread, but still a powerful runner, and Conda getting him the football and letting him go to work, and he gets in the end zone.
Looks like it will be a 2-point conversion try right here for East Kentwood as the Falcons will look to keep pace. Now trailing 8-6 as they get on the board for the first time with Conda streaking into the end zone. Joppy rolling, throwing, and a diving grab is made. The 2-point conversion is good. Shamara White hauling it in, and EK has knotted the game at 8 with 5:41 in the second. We will be right back.
There's something for everyone on Pizza Ranch's legendary buffet. Our pizza buffet features hot, cheesy goodness, slice after slice after slice. Try our signature pizzas or request your favorite combination with our Buffet Your Way option, and you'll get the first piece. With endless possibilities, you're sure to find your ranch favorites. Everyone will agree that cactus bread is the perfect dessert to end your meal. For legendary food that everyone loves, there's so much to love at Pizza Ranch.
167 horsepower, candy red, 8 cylinders of freedom. And to think, he only let me drive it once. I've never considered myself to be a lucky man. That would be Dad. He didn't know a thing about cars, couldn't tell a hatchback from a quarterback. But somehow his just kept going, and going, and going, and going. Turns out Dad wasn't lucky. He just knew where to look.
All right, welcome back to East Kentwood. To Grandville. East Kentwood set to send this one away. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timbers, Ryan Moore, the senior, getting ready to send it away for the first time in this contest, and he'll punch one down on its way to Capco. Capco breaking, or actually it was even caught on first time we've seen him returning one this year, getting past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So we've seen the Bulldogs switching up that return team a little bit throughout the early part of the year. I think that's the first time we've seen Avon Cott bringing one back for the Bulldogs. And he's got the 27 as Grandville's offense back on the field. Chandler, 5:37. They'll have to go a little bit quicker than they did last time on the march down the field.
Yeah, definitely a long possession the first time. Ate up a lot of that first quarter and, of course, capitalized punching it in for the score. Now a little over 5.5 minutes here to go. Still plenty of time for them to execute their offense and work their way down the field. And I'm sure the Bulldogs thinking if they can take this one down, eat up the rest of this clock, and then get the football at halftime or after halftime once again.
Dogs will start out of the 2 tight end tee once again. And again, it's Rocky and Connolly that will start at tight end as that unit looks a little bit different with Mike Medeiros not starting. Carson Kopko got the first touch of the drive, and he got around the 30-yard line in a gain of 2.5 on first down as they continue to grind it right now. All 3 backs, a lot of touches early for this Grandville defense or Grandville offense. This East Kentwood defense has certainly been able to slow the T attack from some of what we've seen early in the year. We have an official timeout now as well as something to get set at the tail end of this play. But Chandler, this Grandville offense, we said it's a very classic and grinding Grandville attack early. Really, the one Capco play, they got about a 15-yard chunk play, but besides that, it's been 4 or 5 yards at a time. They've been grinding it up the field. They've been efficient. They found themselves in a couple 3rd and 4th down positions, but for the most part, it's been a fairly comfortable grind, if you can say it that way, down the field.
Yeah, they've been getting nice chunks of 3, 4, 5 yards, which this offense will take. That's going to move the chains for them. But the Falcons have been limiting the big plays at this point. They had the one longer Kopko run right away, but for the most part, nothing major down the field.
This is a pitch to Carson Kopko. He's got the edge, and he's got the first down. It's just shy of the 40-yard line. Good carry by Carson Kopko, getting the outside. Silas Mitchell on the stop to the outside right there. And a chain mover for Carson Kopko, who, again, has been a very varied back in his attack so far in this one. It hasn't just been the trap plays. They've gotten him outside on a couple occasions like that one.
Yeah, you like to see the Bulldogs diversify his game a little bit, give the defense even more to think about when you've got a player like Kopko, and then look at this formation.
Here it is. They go to the double wing, the flex bone formation for the Bulldogs. Motion Kopko into an I form right here. It's a give to Kopko, shoving ahead to the 45-yard line. A little bit different look, and a look that motioning out of there we didn't even see last week out of the Bulldogs. That really is more of an I-form look right there where they motion Kopko to in front of Jaden Terry. So this Grandville offense staying very multiple to some extent over the last couple of weeks, as multiple as we've ever seen them be, as they bring back one of those alternate formations for 6 yards on first down to Carson Kopko.
Yeah, not quite what the East Kentwood offense has been, but definitely something different for this Bulldogs team. Showed it at the end of last week, and now here in the second quarter, an important drive breaking it out.
They'll go back to the T as they bring Sadinsky back out to join Jaden Terry and Carson Kopko. Delay give, and it'll be rough. Looking deep down the field, looking for Sadinsky. He's got it, and Sadinsky's gone. Touchdown, Grandville. They go over the top, and Easton Sadinsky with the first receiving TD of the year for the Bulldogs puts them back up 14-8.
Well, there, Bulldogs, just a great display of play calling right there. You show a different formation, get the defense thinking about that and what they're going to do to try to stop the run game, and immediately go back to the tee and then hit them with a play action over the top. It was a corner route out of the backfield by Sadinsky, and Ruff actually threw the ball in a perfect spot, forced Sadinsky to turn it up the field even more because the defender was kind of lurking there, going to try to catch up. Sadinsky able to run underneath it and score.
The art of the multiple offense with head coach Eric Stiegel. A flex bone motioned into an I, followed up by a play action out of the tee, and the Bulldogs go 46 yards over the top right there and go back on top as the T unit will come out for the 2-point conversion to try to make it an 8-point lead right here. Rough. It's Sadinsky bottling his way towards the end zone, but it's Stellan Bowman meeting him in the hole, shutting it down. 2-point conversion, no good. 14-8 with 3.5 to go in the second, and Grandville has retaken the lead, and we will be right back.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back to Grandville. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Thanks, as you just heard from Farmers Insurance and Centennial Securities for their support of MGN. Also, thanks to the Rainbow Grill, who joined us this year. We'll have more information about them as at the end of the game, when we get into our Player of the Game award. We're also looking for the Car Center hit of the game throughout the course of this contest. 3.5 to go, and Grandville's offense, Chandler, finding a little bit different way to get it into the end zone. I do see one score update, 7-7 at the end of one. Caledonian Rockford. We'll have a little bit more complete score recap coming up during our halftime coverage presented by Farmers Insurance. As again, Keranin will send it away, and East Kentwood will go to the sophomore Edmonds on the return. Edmonds making some things happen, shifting up to the 30. The ball is on the turf. Grandville says they have it, but the late call from the trailing official comes in that it will stay with East Kentwood. Grandville's sideline was fired up that was their football, but Edmonds, the sophomore, put it on the turf. I think it was Sadinsky that made the hit, jarring it free. East Kentwood just able to maintain possession, and a pretty big job of them right there to maintain possession, trailing 14-8.
Yeah, it could have been a dangerous time there for the Falcons, trying to get a score here and tie it up before halftime, almost losing the football and turning it over on the kickoff return. It was a pretty nice return, doing some good work trying to make guys miss, but then the hit from the blind side from behind, of course, the football bounce free.
All right, Joppy will get ready to go to work out of the gun. Wing off. The right is Brown. Joppy in the flat, hauled in here by James Johnson, and he's got it to about the 32-yard line. Sanchez and Cott bringing him out after a gain of 2 on first down. Another screen right there. That's been a big part of this offense. An offense that normally likes to be a little bit north and south and looking more powerful in some of their attack and kind of a multiple power, so to speak, attack. They've been doing a lot so far looking to the sidelines on some of these first plays.
A lot of quick throws and 7 completions for Joppy to this point. 7 different receivers getting involved. A lot of different playmakers trying to get them the ball quickly.
Back to the 3 receiver. We'll call it kind of power spread type unit as the Bulldogs will change up that offensive line. Joppy will roll to throw. The senior clutching, firing deep down the field. And he was looking for James Johnson. It was overthrown to the senior. Good coverage from Avon Cott. And it will be 3rd down and 8 after the look down the field.
Yeah, they move the pocket right away from the snap. Joppy rolling to his right. Brett Becker coming from the right side, following that play up. The effort there to continue the pursuit, and even though he didn't get there quite in time, delivered a hit right after the throw from Joppy. That's a couple times now. They haven't been able to quite fully get and bring Joppy to the ground, but the pressure's been there. Make him feel the heat a little bit and deliver the ball a little earlier than he wanted once again.
Joppy relaying the message to his front line. They'll stick out of that same 3 wide receiver gun look. Grandville brings a 4-down shifting front right here. Conda will motion to the left hip. Joppy give. Conda up the middle, breaking away from Kubzak, turning the corner and tumbling over the 35-yard line. They decide to run it on 3rd and 8. They'll make it 4th and a little bit more manageable. And Coach Stiegel with 2.5 to go quickly is going to call a timeout and talk about this one a little bit. Right here, we're going to stay with you through this timeout. We'll welcome you inside here at Bulldog Stadium. All right, CT, really interesting game and a really interesting moment. Grandville now finds themselves 2.5 minutes on this clock, leading 14-8, and a really good opportunity to try to make something happen right here.
Yeah, I think a big moment right now, and Coach Stiegel calling the timeout to try to force the Falcons' hand here to see if they're going to try to go for it in their own territory, 4th and medium, 4th and long, see if they're going to try to convert here and keep possession of the football and score before halftime, or if they're going to punt it away. Either way, the Bulldogs on 3rd down there, the short gain, able to come up and stop the run, makes this a more difficult decision for the East Kentwood sideline.
Yeah, it looks like the Falcons, though, on 4th and 6 are keeping the offense out there. So Coach Stiegel, using his 2nd timeout of the half, will have the defense out and a really big chance to flip the field or for East Kentwood to keep the drive alive. Now Joppy dropping back, and this will be a little bit of a pooch punt. So they decide to punch it away on down to Avon Cott, and the senior will angle across the field. Here comes Avon Cott to the near side, jumping past the 25-yard line on his feet. There he goes, diving to the end zone, waiting for the call. It looks like he's going to be out just shy of the end zone, but Avon Cott nearly bringing it all the way back for the Bulldogs to the 2-yard line. And we've always said it, come on, MGN, and I feel like there's always a little bit of a boost for the player that week. A big play from Avon Cott, and the Bulldogs in great position now to flip this ball game.
Yeah, good recognition by Cott there. He's playing safety, expecting the Falcons maybe going to be going for it there. At the last second, it turns into a punt return, and really the Falcons failed to cover that side of the field. The receivers or coverage on that side ran past where the football ended up going. Even Cott had a lot of open room to turn that into something.
All right, Bulldog unit with a chance to make it a 2-score game right here. Ruff will turn. It's a give to Jaden Terry, standing up into the end zone, and the sophomore is in again. Jaden Terry, double-digit touchdowns in game number 4 of the season for the standout sophomore. It's 20-8 Grandville.
Yeah, big momentum swing right there in the last couple minutes. The Bulldogs defense getting a stop, getting a 3-and-out and forcing the punt, the big return, and then right away, first carry, Terry goes in the yard or goes into the end zone again, and right away the Bulldogs going to extend it to a 2-score lead.
They're going to look to add the extra point as well. Jake Kiernan, the sophomore, will come out to do so. Newville, the holder for the Bulldogs, and Reed Graverson, the long snapper. Kiernan able to add the XP, 21-8 Grandville, 2:13 to go, and the Bulldogs very quickly flip this game on its head. Grandville leads by 2 scores. We'll be right back.
Royal is fun. Royal is teamwork. Royal is growth. Royal is innovative. Royal is we are Royal.
This is the pizza the other guys wish they could make. Keep dreaming. Jets. Better, because it has to be.
Kroll Furnace is upgrading your comfort with the Dike and Fit system, featuring adaptive heating and cooling. Call us today to learn more about this innovative system. Kroll Furnace, keeping you comfortable for 4 generations.
Jake Karanen sends another one away. Amon Edmonds, the sophomore, will receive, and East Kentwood will now down 2 scores. Get ready to work it back here. Edmonds gets just shy of that 30-yard line. And we'll get ready to rock and roll with one more drive right here. 2:05 to go. And Chandler, like we were just saying, Grandville, really a really big job to flip this game on its head. It was a grinding back and forth affair, and all of a sudden, Grandville turns a 1-score game with East Kentwood driving into a 2-score game with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, all 3 phases right there for the Bulldogs, contributing to defense, getting the stop, the special teams big return, and the offense punching it in. But the Falcons do have a little bit of time here to try to chip this back down to a 1-score game.
Avon Cott spoke pretty specifically, I think, about the importance of the special teams and the adjustments that they made, and he makes a really darn big play right there for the Bulldogs. From the gun, Joppy gets ready to go to work, and we'll look downfield on the curling route. It's hauled in by Holt. He's got it over the 50-yard line, and a big chain mover as he's wrestled down out of bounds by Sanchez to the 49-yard line, and a strike in the plus territory. And again, it's the junior Holt who's kind of become the go-to guy in those sort of throws and quick hitch routes like that early.
Yeah, big 26-yard gain right there, the 10-yard hitch. Just quickly throw the ball out and let Holt make something happen. He's able to pick up a lot of yards after the catch there and get into Grandville territory on the first play.
Holt, really terrific junior, hits the sideline as this is such a deep receiving core that Coach Kimbrough and company are able to go to work for. Casey Joppy will work out of a 5-wide set, empty backfield with just under 2 minutes to go, and it's now 21-8 Grandville lead late in the second quarter. Joppy with pressure coming, got it away, incomplete on a dangerous throw. He was trying to find James Johnson. Nice job by Garrett Naraki, the outside backer, forced to play a little bit of a nickel corner roll right there, able to bring it to second down.
We've seen quite a few very similar route there again. The 10-yard hitch. The Bulldogs secondary playing off a little bit. Essentially, the receiver's just going to run till they're just about at the decision point for the secondary where they're going to have to start to drop back. They quick turn around, break the route off, wait for the throw from Joppy there. Unable to get it, though, through the hands.
Joppy and Conda in the backfield here for East Kentwood. As they go to the 4-wide set, and Grandville showing a bit of pressure. Joppy off his back foot. He's got Conda. He's got the 45, and he's breaking it out past the 30, and Conda's got the 28-yard line. Brought down from the legs and the shoelaces by Ethan Newville. Another chain mover right there on a little setup screen to the tailback, and Conda with another good burst of speed in the open field. Second year we've seen this kid, and I tell you what, LSA, there's a reason why he's got most of the GLIAC kind of level schools are already looking at him. I think more schools will have to start taking a look because he's that bowling ball build and a power back, but he's got that great burst of speed in the open field as well.
Yeah, you've seen it in the running game, able to get in the end zone, now getting involved in the passing game as well. His second catch, 29 total receiving yards there, just able to get the screen pass and make something up the field.
Minute 20 to go in the first half, and East Kentwood is going to use their first timeout of this half. 21-8 Grandville leading East Kentwood here from Bulldog Stadium. Thanks, of course, to Farmers Insurance and Centennial Securities. We'll have the Farmers Insurance halftime show coming up. We'll have stats and much, much more to get to. One of the features we'll also be looking to get to is our live scores, and we, thanks to Michigan Sports Radio, can present some of those as we can take a look around the area. Once we can get it refreshed. And as you can see, Rockford leading Caledonia 14-7. Bridgeport down 48-0 to Freeland in the second quarter. Coopersville, Spring Lake in a tight one, and a lot of other games going on as well around the area. So we'll get back to more of that. And we'll get back to the field. 1:17 to go in the second, 21-8. And an empty backfield again for Casey Joppy as they look to spread out the defense right here. The senior on the drop. He's got some time over the middle, hauled in, and a first down. Another conversion that was snagged and moving the chains with Troy Williams. Naraki on the tackle. Sorry, check that. That was Kendrick New on the grab. So the senior able to haul that one in. Move the chains up to the 17-yard line. 1:01 and less to go. Clock ticking on down. And Joppy will keep it with an empty backfield and 5 wide across the field right here, trying to stretch this multiple Grandville defense in a look that's a little bit different than what we normally see them like to play. This has been really probably the number one formation that East Kentwood has utilized. Joppy clutching and looking, and it's broken up. A really nice play on the ball made again by Garrett Naraki. The sophomore has been terrific. Carson Kubzak was ranging out there as well. But how about Naraki on the breakup? He's been really good. The outside backer, the sophomore, been forced to play more of a nickel corner type role and looked very good in that role right there again.
Yeah, dropping back in coverage, able to read the eyes of the quarterback looking that way, sees the receiver, and at the last second gets the hand in there, deflected the ball just enough that it looked like the receiver unable to make the catch.
So Joppy will spread them. They'll go 5 wide on 2nd and 10 here up to the 16-yard line. Grandville bringing the 4 down front right here. Pressure coming and picked up nicely. Joppy looking inside the 10-yard line. Kendrick New, a snagging grab is made, and he'll move the chains up to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal with 35 seconds on the clock, and East Kentwood wisely will call one more timeout right here. We will take one as well.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back here. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, Grandville High School, Bulldog Stadium, 21-8. The Grandville Bulldogs leading East Kentwood Falcons here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. But East Kentwood, Chandler, quick drive down the field when they've needed it, and a chance to get it back within a 1-score game before we hit the halftime break.
The Falcons in the 2-minute offense have been impressive, quickly working their way down the field. Now have a chance to score here on the 5-yard line.
Joppy will put them 3 wide. The tailback is LSA Conda. Brown in motion as the H. Joppy rolling. Pressure from Moody, picked up, lobbing to the corner of the end zone and overthrown as he was trying to find his terrific junior Caden Holt on the back corner of the end zone. Stops the clock with 29 seconds and stops the clock with a 2nd and goal from the 5 coming up one more time.
The Bulldog secondary holding up in coverage there off the rollout to the right side. And the Rocky had to come up and make Joppy make a decision with the football. Otherwise, Joppy might have had a chance to try to roll all the way to the corner and turn that into a quarterback run, but Naraki forcing the decision, had to kind of just throw it away, give his receiver a chance, but for the most part, just throwing that one out of the back of the end zone.
Coach Kimbrough, East Kentwood, back to the 3-receiver set from the gun. Defensive coordinator Landis bringing 4 down and some pressure off the end. Was Naraki unblocked, intercepted. Reed Graverson, the pick at the goal line for the Bulldogs, and the junior is off and running to the 40. Tackled out of bounds, maybe a late hit. The defense fired up. Reed Graverson, pick at the goal line, and Grandville turns what looked like a sure 6 from East Kentwood into midfield field position.
Fantastic play by Reed Graverson. Sees Conda out of the backfield, trying to go into the flat, and Joppy going to dump it off to him, able to jump that route right at the goal line, able to go up and steal the ball away. And then the long return as well, going to give the Bulldogs a chance to run a play or two here, 18 seconds and a timeout. We'll see how crazy the Bulldogs want to get.
3 weeks in a row with a red zone INT from this Grandville defense. It was Jackson Sanchez the last 2 weeks. Now the terrific junior, 2nd-year junior middle linebacker Reed Graverson making the pick right there. And we've talked about it so much, Chandler. Now a late penalty and a block in the back penalty, and I did see the flag come out around the 15-yard line is against the Bulldogs. This will bring them back, and this likely takes away from some of Coach Stiegel's aggressiveness he may have been thinking about on this next play.
Definitely going to take a lot of that return yardage back. Of course, the interception still going to stand, but the Bulldogs going to have a chance to run a play here, but now back inside their own 10-yard line instead of approaching midfield.
So Dogs will break it out. Connolly, Naraki stay in as the tight ends as Grandville goes to the double wing, the double tight flex bone formation, and they motion into the I form with Kopko. It's a give to Jaden Terry, and he's got speed to around the 15-yard line. 12 seconds and less right here. Grandville wants a timeout. Cash Ruff gets a timeout called on the near side. We'll stay with you. Again, Grandville motions out of the double wing into the I form right there, and there are so many different looks that could certainly potentially bring, as they've brought just one more little twist of element into this offense that they're willing to go to and just give the defense a little bit of a different look. And again, I like whenever you're able to get Jaden Terry in a position as the deep back and get him in that position to kind of come running downfield out of a traditional sort of formation like that, because it's not even a traditional flex bone where they have Jaden as a tight fullback. He's lined up deeper and almost a single back with a couple wings is how they've kind of been running that formation.
Yeah, it's I think a role that Jaden Terry can be very effective in. Of course, does a tremendous job out of the tee, but also could be very effective in the single back look there, where he's got a little bit more room to get a head start running towards the line.
Graverson staying out there. Grandville will go to the tee. Ruff give to Jaden Terry. He's looking to stretch and turn and does so past the 20. He's got the first down. That, though, will let the clock run down. Grandville doesn't have any timeouts remaining, and that will take us to the halftime break. 21-8 as we reach the break. A flurry at the end of the first half after a lot of a grinding, tough start in this football game. It wound up being Grandville making the most of a quick back and forth, an interception, a big special teams play, and a couple of touchdowns for the Bulldogs in the final minutes of the first half. Give them a 2-score lead into the break, 21-8, and welcome in to our Farmers Insurance Halftime Show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here from Bulldog Stadium. Yeah, I mean, a game that we thought we knew where it was going. It was a classic Grandville game. They were grinding back and forth. Grandville took like 8 minutes off the clock, 10 minutes off the clock on their first drive of the game. And then at the very end of this first half, there's a bit of a flurry, and Grandville making plays on defense, making plays on special teams that springs the offense and springs a 2-score lead. And by the way, Grandville, very oddly, gets the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, there's been some strong play in all three phases for the Bulldogs. I think the defense has made some plays. They got a turnover, or 3 and out. Got the turnover near the goal line there. They've made some big plays, and of course the offense continues to go and has capitalized on those opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. A big one so far. The Bulldogs lead by a couple of scores. We got a lot still to get to, so do not go anywhere. I'm sure I'll also be clicking around the rest of Michigan Sports Radio. A lot of really big games going on all around MSR and around the area tonight for certain. And this one, 21-8, Grandville leading East Kentwood at the break. We will be right back here from Bulldog Stadium as we'll continue our Farmers Insurance halftime show.
This is a beautiful time of year, but for many, it is also the beginning of allergy season, which means lots of sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, constant drainage, or ear pressure. These are all allergy symptoms we regularly treat. Don't let your allergy stop you from enjoying what you love to do outdoors. We have several ear, nose, throat, and allergy specialists ready to see you. Find us online at MichiganENTallergy.com. We look forward to helping you enjoy the outdoors again. Revolution Rehab offers a personalized approach to physical therapy and health. Dr. Tyler started a private pay practice, allowing him to provide a level of care that you deserve. His goal is to recognize the root cause of the problem and restore the body's natural function. He uses physical therapy as a tool to inspire others to live a healthy and meaningful life. With 2 locations in Rockford and Grand Rapids, he can help you get back into the game. Check him out at therevolutionrehab.com.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches and state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FIN.
Hey everyone, Nate Dreyer from MGN, and MGN merch now available for purchase, and we have got a ton of options. Here's where you find the new MGN shop. Go to MichiganGameNight.com. Many of you have probably been there before. Click on the shop merch tab. Many of you have probably been to the MGN page on Michigan Sports Radio. Click on the Buy MGN merch tab. It'll take you here. We've partnered with Teespring, neat company that allows for us to have a lot of different shirt designs. They'll print them, they'll make them, they'll ship them out to you. So a neat way that allows us to have a lot of offerings. We've got a ton of really cool t-shirts, hats, snapback, dad hats, beanie hats, water bottles, more t-shirts, more sweatshirts, just a ton of options. Really, just a ton of options that you're going to be able to look through and find exactly what you may want. We've done what we can, like I said, with Teespring to try to stack this thing. We'll have plenty more options that we'll put up on social media, but make sure you check it out. All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. This is our Farmers Insurance halftime show. 21-8, Grandville leading East Kentwood at the break. Let's go through your scoring recap. All of the scoring coming in the second quarter, thanks to a couple of long drives, and in particular, Grandville grinding it down the field on their first drive of this game. But in the second quarter, it was Jaden Terry that found the end zone first from 10 yards out. Ruff found Sadinsky on the two-point conversion, make it 8-0 Grandville. And then EK with a quick answer on their next drive. 5:41 remaining in the second. LSA Conda breaking into the end zone from 12 yards out. Joppy found White on the two-point conversion to knot the game at 8. And then it was back-to-back Grandville scores as there was quite a bit of commotion in the final 3.5 minutes of play in this first half. Cash Ruff found Easton Sadinsky from 54 yards out. They were no good on the two-point conversion. 14-8 Grandville. And then East Kentwood, well, there was a little bit of back and forth as then East Kentwood took the ball. Grandville nearly brought it all the way back as Avon Cott had a punt return down to the 2-yard line. Jaden Terry punched it in. Extra point good. Reed Graverson had a goal line interception right after that. And Chandler, take us through some of our halftime stats in the first half of this one.
All right, for the Falcons, Joppy had 11 completions for 122 yards. Conda had 43 rushing yards, and a lot of different receivers got involved. Leading the way was Holt with 38, New with 36 yards. Conda had 29. Then White with 7, Gordon 6, Edmonds 4, and Johnson 2. On the Grandville side, Cash Ruff had that one completion to Sadinsky for 54 yards. On the ground, Kopko led the way, 69 yards. Terry with 30, and Sadinsky 18. Cash Ruff also had 2 rushes for 5 yards.
Yeah, so balanced attack from Grandville, and a game that I think looked a little bit different in terms of some of the attacks that I think we were expecting, especially on the East Kentwood side. In the pregame, we hyped up all of this talk about this multiple offense, this offense that was going, to look to maybe a power run game out of the single back, out of the gun. They even run some I form. We saw no I form out of them, and we saw more empty backfield gun 5 wide looks than we saw any sort of power running out of a single back formation. It's a little bit different attack, trying to keep this Grandville defense on its heels. They're trying to attack the boundaries a lot, and I'll be curious to see if the second half offense looks the same for Coach Kimbrough as it did the first half.
Yeah, I think a lot of multiple receivers getting the ball out quickly, 10 yards or shorter, a lot of quick throws, and trying to get the ball in the hands of your receivers. As we mentioned, a lot of different guys getting involved, so spreading it around quite a bit. Casey Joppa in the first half, and so we'll see if that's going to continue to be the game plan. They had the one drive go right down to the goal line there right before halftime that led to a turnover, but another long scoring drive. So the offense has been all right outside of the turnover, but we'll see what the attack is moving forward.
Again, around the area, Rockford, Caledonia currently in a tight one, 14-10 in that game. Coopersville, Spring Lake, and a tough game at the half in that contest. Also around there, of course, our game 21-8 now at the half. Central Montcalm leading. See some of the other scores. Comstock Park, of course, playing a big one against Belding, and it looks like it's Belding leading at the break in that one. Forest Hills Eastern up on South Christian at what looks like nearly the break in that contest. Zeeland East beating up on Wyoming right now. Hamilton down a couple of scores to Allendale, and Muskegon up over Mona Shores in the second quarter. Grand Rapids Christian losing to Byron Center. Jennison leading West Ottawa 12-7. And how about the top one that I just saw Chandler motioning to, Grand Haven up 7-0 against Hudsonville in the second quarter. And you can take a look at some more of those scores, including West Catholic taking it to Unity at the break in that contest. So I guess, Chandler, if we kind of look around at some of those scores, what were some of the main ones that maybe stood out to you? Of course, the Rockford Caledonia one would be the easy feeding, but I mean, your finger went right to that Grand Haven Hudsonville one, because we know what Grand Haven was last week, and Grandville has to play Hudsonville next week, so we're learning a lot there.
Yeah, that one's very relevant to the Bulldogs when that's the previous matchup and the next matchup for the Bulldogs. I think you saw Grand Haven. We definitely think they're a program probably on the rise, even though the Bulldogs won that game handily late. But I think a Buccaneers team that's obviously given Hudsonville some issues.
I mean, the Bucs go out and win that game, and I mean, last week's struggles into a 20-point win look a lot different, I think, in hindsight, based on how that one. I think even right now it looks a little bit different in hindsight, knowing that they are being that competitive with a Hudsonville team that's off to a very good start. I mean, there's only so much you can say about it, but Hudsonville right now is the 1 seed in the district through the first 3 weeks of the year. They've got all D1 wins, and they're off to a very good start. Beat this East Kentwood team a week ago. We've got a lot more still to get to. We'll take a quick break right here and get back on the Farmers Insurance Halftime Show with some more breakdown and get you ready for the second half. 21-8 Grandville over East Kentwood at the half in the conference home opener for the Bulldogs here tonight.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINR.
NGN is the driver. I am Chandler 2.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Grandville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And he has returned. He's still on the beach. We've been bugging him about it all week long, but Chandler Timmer joins me here on the Bates Agency pregame show. CT, you seem to be doing better than the rest of us.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty nice down here. It's kind of like covering basketball this way.
I'm sure you do.
Listen to this moving forward.
I can't blame you one bit. All right.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz orthodontic smile of the game. Grown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough backcourt.
Your flight's at 5 or your...
Yeah, the flight out of Panama City is like at 5, and we don't get home till like midnight. So
that sucks. So you're actually, that was a lie. You're not going to be tuning in.
Yeah, no. If I'm at the airport at that time, I will be. But I'm likely missing most of it.
Okay.
This is the pizza the other guys wish they could make. Keep dreaming. Jets. Better, because it has to be.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
The 76 Diner and Truck Stop would like to invite you and your families to come and check out their diner. With locations in both Byron Center and Coopersville, they're a great place to stop before or after the game. They have a wide variety of menu choices to feed all the kids. They serve breakfast hot all day, and they're able to accommodate all of your large group needs. Their full menu is available for takeout orders, and they have online ordering at 76truckstopdiner.com.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
Have you recently collided with a deer or been caught in an unfortunate accident? Don't worry, Car Center Collision and Glass is your trusted partner to bring your vehicle back to life. With convenient branches in Cedar Springs, Burton Heights, Alpine, and Big Rapids, we're right around the corner to provide expert assistance. From collision repairs to mechanical fixes, we're your one-stop solution for all your car needs. Check us out at carcentermi.com.
All right, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer alongside, and welcome back in to Bulldog Stadium and game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Warm-ups wrapping up for these two teams. We're wrapping up the Farmers Insurance halftime show, and Chandler, I'll hand it back over to you for a couple quick second half keys, and this one is before a very, very rare occurrence that I can't remember happening in a long time. Grandville will be getting a second half kickoff coming their way.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different, the Bulldogs getting the ball, and I think right away the Falcons going to need to stop at some point. They've got the Bulldogs into a couple third and fourth down situations, but haven't been able to get off the field. The Bulldogs offense pretty much scoring anytime they had the football, so the East Kentwood defense going to need to really stop some of the chunk gains that the Bulldogs were getting in the run game in order to get off the field and give their offense a chance. And offensively for the Falcons, they've been able to move the football. They've racked up quite a bit of yardage going down the field. It's just they have been unable to finish their drives. Some turnovers, turnover on downs early on in the game, and then a turnover at the goal line. Give the credit to the Bulldogs defense that has been able to bend but not break as they stepped up and made some plays. I think they'll be looking to try to capitalize off some of the plays that they made in the first half.
A low-scoring game, 21-8 at the break, a relatively low-scoring compared to some of what we have seen in some past Grandville games, but a very efficient game, at least on the Grandville side of the ball. And again, this defense, they've had some moments where they've been battered, but we've seen a lot of week-over-week progress, and again, a lot of big plays made when they needed them made, including the pick down in the red zone. That's the main thing I'm seeing, is this is a defense that, week over week, They got beat up, obviously, a little bit against Davison after making some good plays against Grand Blanc the first week. We saw improvement throughout the game last week and very solid on the whole. When they have given up long drives, with the exception of the one touchdown, they were able to make it right with a pick and also some good stops.
Yeah, I think the way that they've been able to make plays when it matters, they've given up some short completions, but you haven't seen those long plays down the field early on in the season. There were some missed tackles that turned short gains, whether it was a run or a short completion that's turned into a big play down the field, and whether it was a score or just completely flipped the field. They had some issues with that, but much better job of, even if you're giving up a couple yards down the field, coming up, making a tackle, not allowing that to turn into anything more, and force a opposing team to drive the entire length of the field and trust that eventually you're going to be able to make a play.
The third quarter is brought to you by Michigan Hearing Experts. They're doctors of audiology. Use real ear measurements to optimize your hearing aid performance so you don't miss a play. Also, the Family Fare tailgate special this week is fresh, all-natural, boneless, skinless chicken breast or chicken wings for only $2.47 a pound. Visit shopfamilyfare.com for all the specials. So Grandville will get ready to take the football, as we just mentioned, of course, to begin the second half of play as the lights now illuminating Bulldog Stadium, and we are ready to go. Again, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. East Kentwood will have their senior kickoff specialist and kicker Ryan Moore getting ready to send this one on away. Grandville sends Miguel Rojas back as the deep man as we continue to see Grandville change up their return unit. We've seen Kopp, we've seen Kopko, we've now seen Rojas, and we've definitely seen the Bulldogs go to a lot of different looks throughout this game and throughout this season as well. Rojas will get ready to bring it back. Taken in up the near side by Cott. He was the up man over the 25-yard line. He's got the 26. And Grandville's offense will get ready to go to work here to open up the second half.
For the Bulldogs offense, it's just trying to replicate what you're able to do in the first half. Move the football pretty well down the field, able to get into the end zone multiple times. Of course, on one drive, helped out by the special teams returning all the way down to the 2 and scoring off from that. But even when they've had to go the length of the field, been able to get pretty consistently move the chains and work their way.
So Ruff will go under center out of the 2 tight end tee. East Kentwood brings a 5 down front to open the second half as Cash Ruff went to a little bit of a hard count, and now will relay the new message across to his running back unit. It'll be Terry, Kopko, Sadinsky to open, some misdirection, and a give to Carson Kopko is snuffed out with a long wrestling match and pushing match between Michael Zua, and Stellan Bowman, as Kopko will get a yard up the gut off the misdirection.
And the shortest run of the night for Kopko. It's been pretty consistently 4 or 5 yards, had one for 25 his first carry of the game, but even after that, carries at 4, 5, 6 yards. That's going to work for this Bulldogs offense.
Cash Ruff will stride out, and the Bulldog attack will get ready to go to work right here. Dogs bring the 2 tight end tee. It's again East Kentwood going to a 5 down front to counter. Cash Ruff off the fake handoff going deep. Caught Jaden Terry, the sophomore, with speed down the sideline to the 20, and he'll break it into the end zone. Jaden Terry, 72 yards to the house. And the Dogs go up 27-8.
2 completions for Cash Ruff and 2 touchdowns. One to Sadinsky, that one 72 yards over the top to Jaden Terry. Ruff rolling out to his left across the body, a very difficult throw. Terry was open but still had to get the ball there and able to deliver it. Then Jaden Terry just outrunning the last line of defense there down the sideline. We've seen him do that running the football out of the backfield, but effective too there out of the backfield, running a route down the field and still making a play with the football.
All right, Cash Ruff will stride out, and the Bulldogs off Jaden Terry's first receiving touchdown of the year will fake the handoff. It's a bootleg all alone. Cash Ruff into the end zone as he'll drag his way in, and the Bulldogs extend it to 29-8 with 10:59 in the third, and we will be right back.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
All right, Grandville striking again. This time a deep one to Jaden Terry. Opening kickoff from Keranen goes out of bounds, but what a play, Chandler, from Jaden Terry in the open field. Absolute speed, and he shows off his pass-catching ability first, leaking into the open field in Grandville, their second passing TD of the game.
Yeah, the Bulldogs getting the passing game involved. Haven't seen it a ton this year, but able to get it early in the second half. Second long completion down the field, second touchdown. The Falcons needed a stop there, but the Bulldogs right away making quick work down the field, scoring another touchdown, extending their lead.
All right, just a tick under 11 minutes to go, and Casey Joppi will bring the East Kentwood attack out one more time right here as they get ready to go to work out of a 4 wide receiver set from the gun. Delayed give is given on to Conda, and off that read option give, he'll take it just a little bit past the original line of scrimmage to the 36-yard line. Graverson and a couple others, Jackson, Becker able to hunt him down around the outside as we'll tick under 10:40 to go here in this third quarter as Grandville now has taken a fresh 3-score and 21-point lead in this one.
And the Bulldogs defense has done a pretty good job bottling up the run game for the Falcons. Conda had a run of 24 very early in the game, but other than that, it's been short gains and being met in the backfield quite a bit.
Joppi going to spread the field with an empty backfield once more right here. The senior clutching and is short on that attempt, looking for the senior slot man, Shamar White. 3rd and 9. That's one of the first times we've seen a misfire short on a play like that from Joppi. He's been really effective in the mid-range passing game, but a little bit of a misfire right there with a little bit of pressure starting to find his face.
Yeah, it looked like Emery Moody might even got a piece of that football. He was rushing from that side of the field, might have got a hand on that throwing, on the football as it was going through the throwing lane there.
East Kentwood and the Falcons will spread the field once again, now down 21 with 10:14 in the third quarter. Joppi stepping in and taking the snap. Pressure coming, throwing. It's hauled in by Holt. He'll turn it up at the 45-yard line, and he'll move the chains right on the mark as Rojas made the stop. It's another third down conversion. It's another third down conversion to Caden Holt, who's been the go-to man. Feels a little bit like what Chase Robinson was for Grand Haven a week ago against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's been the go-to guy. He's the third reception of the night there. Just get the ball out to him quick, let him make something happen. Gets just enough to move the chains.
So Joppi in the offense, getting ready to work once more here. They bring Kondo back into the backfield. They'll also bring Brown in as the H-back. Joppi looking down the field through the hands of Caden Holt right here, met in coverage by Jackson Sanchez, and that's an interesting matchup that they've kept going to. Jackson Sanchez is 5'7", 5'8", a much bigger receiver. Maybe 40 pounds on him as well with Caden Holt, and that's been maybe the #1 matchup that we've been watching those two go head-to-head.
Yeah, they've been going at it quite a bit, and a lot of those 10-yard routes, whether they're hitches, ins, outs, that one an in-breaking route, and the throw on the hands of Holt, but just right through it. Would have been close to another first down, but seen a lot of those intermediate throws from the Falcons offense.
They'll go 3 wide again here for Joppy out of the gun, leaning and taking the snap. Pressure coming from Kubzak, dumps it off to Konda, and he is hit from all directions. Graverson made the first contact. Stephen Jackson finished him off, and it's going to be 3rd and long, but Kubzak was left unblocked, and LSA Konda is down and slow to get up right now. Konda able to roll a little bit, but he took a big hit in the bottom of that pile, and that's a big hit for sure that LSA Konda took right there, as he will continue to come to the attention here of some of the training staff at center field. And as he does, we also will quick step aside as Grandville leads this one 21-8 in the third quarter. Actually, we're going to stick with you because LSA is back up to his feet and off the field. It's a bit of a nasty hit and a bit of a nasty initial look right there of him down on the field, but he's able to get back to his feet, a little bit of help, and get off the field. So I think it's a little shaken up from the bottom of that pile, the hit he took. So now 3rd and 8, and Grandville's defense, Chandler, really big chance. Already leading 29-8, and obviously you can't put it away in the third quarter, but this can certainly go a long way in doing so.
Yeah, it could be another huge stop for the Bulldogs defense. They're trying to set up that screen pass, little dump-off screen to Konda, and the defensive line gets past the running back, Konda there, and completion made, but Reed Graverson making up a lot of ground there and delivering the big hit.
So with Konda to the sideline, this will bring an empty backfield on 3rd and 7 from just shy of midfield for the Falcons and Casey Joppy. Grandville brings a 4 down front. Thrown and hauled in at the 40-yard line. Another chain mover on 3rd down. That one was snagged and moved the change by the senior New. Kendrick New on the grab to the 40-yard line. And EK again moving the chains right here as they'll bring Elijah Jones into the backfield. And now Elijah Jones will leave because LSA Konda, no, sorry, that is Amon Edmonds is ready to come out on the field. 14, not 24. They'll look to spread the field once more right here. So Joppy will work out of an empty backfield from the gun. 8.5 to go in the third quarter. Joppy standing, looking deep down the sideline, incomplete, overthrown. He was trying to hit the streaking Shamar White. Coverage from Rojas down the field, and it'll be a 2nd and 10 from the Grandville 40.
Yeah, the Falcons down 21 points. No, they need some points and relatively quickly. They've been going a lot of 4 and 5 wide receivers. That time empty backfield, 5 wide receivers, throwing it to the outside receiver to the trip side. Had single coverage, one-on-one there, but overthrown down the sideline.
Joppy getting ready to go to work. Elijah Jones will be the pistol back as they work from the pistol for the first time in this game on 2nd and 10. Brown, the H-back motions. Thrown into the flat, taken and turned upfield by Shamar White. And he'll move the chains on the screen to the outside and get it up around the red zone as well. Good job by White to move the chains to the 25-yard line on the screen.
Yeah, the secondary to that side. 2 defenders, the corner and safety playing way off the line. Trying to guard the chains a little bit, and the quick throw. Just quickly get the ball out to White right at the line of scrimmage, allow him to turn upfield.
Again, East Kentwood will use the pistol here. Again, first 2 times we've seen it in this contest as Elijah Jones, the junior speed back, is in. He's got it in the backfield, twists away from Jackson, met by a trio, a quadruple, a quintuplet of Bulldog tacklers to sling him down right behind the line of scrimmage. As I'm trying to dig deep into my vocabulary, I'm not sure if any of those words after trio were correct. It's 2nd and 11.
The Bulldogs again attacking the run game. The Falcons have been throwing the football around a lot, but they go to the pistol and the handoff there, and right away meeting him in the backfield.
Trio, quartet, quintet.
That's what it is.
That's what I was looking for. 2nd and 11 from the 26-yard line. They go back to the gun, and they go to the 4 receiver set. Joppy off a couple of claps. Pressure coming off the edge. The senior stepping into this throw. Holt diving grab made inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal. Again, Caden Holt comes up with a big grab, and the junior moves it to 1st and goal for the Falcons, looking to get 1 score closer.
Yeah, the throw just a little bit low. Otherwise, Holt would have been in the end zone there. He was free cutting across the middle of the field, but had to go down to a knee to try to scoop that one up. Able to get his body underneath the football and make the catch, but down there right at the 1-yard line.
East Kentwood will go to the I form for the first time. It's a quarterback sneak. Joppy right up the middle. And diving, but a penalty marker and an offsides is called on the Bulldogs first. That'll bring the ball half the distance to the goal, which brings it to about the half-yard line. So another 1st and goal right here for EK coming up, and they will go back to the I formation. Cervantes, Scott the fullback, Conda back out there as the deep back. A lean into the end zone. The second push for Joppy. A late penalty marker is out. And a touchdown call from the far side of the field. We're going to have to wait for this thing to get cleaned up a little bit as that penalty marker came in from behind. The far official signaled touchdown as Joppy looked stopped, and then the second effort pushed him over the top of the pile. The score not up on the board yet. Here's the call. Okay, so no touchdown. It's the assisted push right there, call into the quarterback, which looked pretty clear as he was pushed over the top of the pile. And we all know that play from the Bush push, of course, to help kind of know what the call would be. So now we'll turn in 1st and goal from the 6-yard line off the penalty. And again, East Kentwood will pack it in. And again, they will go to the pistol right here, or sorry, to the I formation right here. Joppy, give to Conda with a hole, lowers his head into the end zone. LSA Conda bowling into the end zone for his 2nd TD of the game. This one from 6 yards out. It looked a lot easier from 6 yards out than it did from half a yard out. And EK back on the board, 29-14.
Yeah, that recipe's worked for the Falcons on both of their scoring drives on the night. They spread it out, multiple receiver sets all the way down the field to get into the red zone and then go more into the power of the I formation look. Get Conda downhill, allow him to lower his shoulder, get into the end zone, and chip into the lead.
It'll be Ryan Moore looking to add the extra point and keep pace right here to make it a 14-point game. Casey Joppy on the hold. Tumbler through the uprights, good for Moore. Adds the extra point, 29-15 with 6.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
Royal is fun. Royal is teamwork. Royal is growth. Royal is innovative. Royal is we are Royal.
This is the pizza the other guys wish they could make. Keep dreaming. Jets. Better, because it has to be.
Kroll Furnace is upgrading your comfort with the Daikin Fit system, featuring adaptive heating and cooling. Call us today to learn more about this innovative system. Kroll Furnace, keeping you comfortable for 4 generations.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here from Bulldog Stadium, where for the 2nd time tonight, LSA Conda has bowled into the end zone, and East Kentwood will show a little bit of a unique look on this next kickoff right here. Down a couple of scores, but it'll be Ryan Moore sending this one all the way down away to Miguel Rojas on the return. Rojas cutting across the field, breaking a tackle into a hard hit over the 30 to the 32-yard line, but a good return from Miguel Rojas. And the Grandville offense, which has been unstopped so far tonight, will roll onto the field once more with 6.5 to go in the 3rd.
Yeah, the last time out, Bulldogs wasted little time. Big strike down the field, 70-plus yards. The completion to Jaden Terry and a touchdown. We'll see this time they're going to keep it on the ground, or the play-action game has worked a couple times already for them.
6.5 to go in the 3rd. 29-15 Grandville over East Kentwood. Terry, Kopko, and Sadinsky into the backfield. Naraki and Connolly will straddle the line at tight end, and Grandville will give it right up the middle on to a twisting Jaden Terry, who's got about the 36 to the 37-yard line, hauled down in the middle of the defense. 6:12 to go, and a 5-yard gain on 1st down officially to that 37-yard line for Jaden Terry.
Jaden Terry, only 35 rushing yards, which in total rushing yards, not a huge number for him, but that doesn't include the 2 touchdowns he had, and then, of course, the receiving touchdown, he just had 70 yards, 72 yards.
Yeah, absolutely huge night for Jaden with the 3 total touchdowns. And this is a give on to the driving Carson Kopko, who's got it up for the first down past the 45-yard line. Quite a bit of misdirection on this first drive for Grandville. They do this sometimes where you'll have something like the last drive where they look to go down the field to Terry, or they maybe look to some stretch plays. And then there's kind of the grinding drives where Coach Steagle's knowing that we're looking with a 2-score lead to take up some clock to score, so they're willing to go to some misdirection, willing to grind the ball up the field a little bit, and they've done that so far early on this drive. Cash Ruff in from the sideline, 6'4", 205 quarterback, has got that athlete offer to go to Davenport next year, and very, very impressive young man with a really high ceiling for this Grandville attack. It's a stretch play to Jaden Terry, the sophomore, pushing his way just shy of the 50 to the 49-yard line. Michael Zua, the big guy in the middle of the defense, one of those that ranged out to haul him down against Zua, 5'8 kid, 5'9 kid, 320 pounds or so, north of 300 pounds, and the exact guy that you want in the middle of a defense against this Grandville attack, try to soak up a little bit of the middle of the game, of the run game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's very important for a defense to have a guy like that that can eat up some blocks on the inside, allow your linebackers to come up and try to make some plays on the runner.
East Kentwood defense that normally goes with a 3-down front. They've shifted right here. They'll stick with a 4-down front, and Grandville was able to get an offsides jump off the far side. That'll move the ball to a 2nd and 2 right here as Grandville finally able to get that hard count to work. They've been trying to use it all night long, and again, East Kentwood lined up a little bit differently than how they normally would line up with their defensive unit, maybe all kind of part of some of that Grandville attempt, and able to get it right there. 29-15 Bulldogs, 4:13 and less to go, clock running in the third, and Cash Ruff will come to the controls of the offense on a 2nd and 2 play. A delayed give is fake to Jaden Terry to the outside. A first down for Ruff as he twists it for the first down. Slung down by Silas Mitchell. Check that. Slung down by Alisai Konda on the outside of the defense right there. So Konda coming in from his safety cornerback position to make that stop. But Ruff able to move the chains.
It looked like Ruff and Terry might have bobbled the football a little bit on the fake handoff, caused a couple extra steps for Ruff trying to get out of the backfield, but still able to get enough, turn the corner, and take the hit.
From the 43-yard line, Bulldogs will break it out. Ruff looking to the sideline. Coach Steagle's get-back man helping him stay on the sideline as there was some miscommunication, and he will be forced to burn a timeout right here. 3:22 to go in the third. 29-15 Grandville over East Kentwood. We'll be right back from Bulldog Stadium.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here from Bulldog Stadium. Dogs out of the tee, out of the timeout. Ruff looking to the sideline. Coach Steagle relaying a bit of a new message. He's not been thrilled with the operation of the offense the last couple of plays right here. Grandville will run the play. And they'll break it on here to Sadinsky, who gets driven, or Kopko, I should say, gets driven into the turf at the 40-yard line. Leading by a couple scores right now, but probably the most fired up we've seen Coach Steagle all night long, helping move this offense down the field.
Yeah, Coach Steagle always out there on the sideline coaching up his offense, relaying the play calls in, and of course wants a smooth operation out there, even up a couple scores here, trying to execute a crucial drive in this game to try to ice it.
Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Dogs leading by a couple of scores. East Kentwood brings a 4-down front. Here's Jaden Terry hitting the hole with a bit of speed and breaking it up to over the 35-yard line and breaking it right to the mark he needed to move the chains again for the Bulldogs. Nice run by Jaden Terry into the middle of the East Kentwood defense. He hits the hole with so much speed, and we've seen that all year long. We've seen that for the last 2 years, but this year in particular, I feel like he's running with that much more speed to his game.
Yeah, definitely. Whether that's trying to stretch it to the outside and outrunning guys to the boundary, or even when you hit the tackle, it's important to hit the hole with speed, and he's been doing that. Especially important, too. He's battling some injuries early on. Doesn't look like he's shying away from the contact, running between the tackles.
Naraki, the far side tight end. Connolly, the near side tight end. It's Terry again getting a push from behind to the 30-yard line, and about 3 on first down, right into the middle of the East Kentwood defensive. Look, Caleb Sanders, the big senior defensive end and defensive tackle on the stop for the Falcons. We tick under 150 to go in the third now, 29-15. And Grandville doing a good job grinding the clock out, and they'll have a very good chance to take this drive even into the fourth quarter right now. I mean, an ideal drive probably isn't even scoring like quickly with a big play right here. It'd be to continue to grind it out a little bit right now for the Dogs. Out of the 2 tight end tee. Rough to Sadinsky. The junior gets bottled up hard as he hit the hole. It was Stellan Bowman who was able to hit the hole. You know, a couple weeks ago we saw Carter Harriman, the Miami of Ohio-bound middle linebacker for Davison. He was a linebacker that just seemed to soak everything up. Everything would just kind of stop with him. Stellan Bowman is the kind of guy that fills the hole, and he hits you in the face hard every time. I feel like every time we've seen a big hit in the middle of the defense, I can pretty assuredly know that it's Bowman that's helping make that big hit.
Yeah, he's definitely been flying around the field, trying to make those hits as quick as he can, trying to read the plays, see where the running back's going, read the offensive lineman, and try to fill that gap.
Ruff will stretch it to Jaden Terry. Good burst of speed, and he's tripped up to the 20-yard line. Near side tackle made by Gabe Wolf. That'll move the chains from Terry. He was looking, I think, upfield the second he was able to make that cut on the stretch play and thought he had a chance, and he did have a chance to break it. A really nice shoestring tackle by Wolf to trip him up, and Grandville's into the red zone with 35 seconds in the third. From the 20, Ruff working the offense with a little bit of pace right here. EK brings a 5 down front, and Ruff looks to the sideline and relays a new message from Coach Stiegel. Ruff on the give to Kopko. Nowhere really to go. Sanders the stop immediately after a gain of 2 on the forward progress. Henry also created the tackle. That'll do it for the third. 29-15. Both teams able to find a score in that third quarter of play, and we'll be right back here for the final frame from Bulldog Stadium.
Michigan Hearing Experts sell and service several brands of hearing aids. Are you having trouble having a conversation or unable to hear the latest play of the game? We perform comprehensive hearing exams and use real ear measurements to ensure optimal functioning hearing aids for your unique needs. Our highly trained doctors of audiology are dedicated to helping you reconnect with your world. Visit MichiganHearingExperts.com to find a location near you and take the first step towards better hearing with Michigan Hearing Experts.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bulldog Stadium and game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. 29-15 in the final 12 minutes here of Grandville football on MGN. Dogs leading by a couple scores over East Kentwood, thanks to Centennial Securities and Farmers Insurance for their presenting sponsorship of MGN. The Bulldogs with a really big drive, or finish to a drive right here. They've been grinding it down the field, and it's a stretch to Jaden Terry, the sophomore, spinning, staying on his feet, cutting it up, and into the end zone, fumbling into the end zone. Dogs on it, doesn't matter. Touchdown, Grandville. What a run by Jaden Terry. He looked dead to rights 2-3 times, and he finds the end zone. What a night for the sophomore.
That was maybe the most impressive run of the night for Jaden Terry. He had to fight through a couple tackles. It was almost stopped twice. That had his momentum all but stopped and still kept the feet going, spinning through some arm tackles. And then a very impressive finish to that to get across the goal line. The ball did come out, but the offside judge there ruling he was across the goal line before the ball came out, so that touchdown will stand. We're not going to see a touchback or potential recovery for East Kentwood.
We saw one of those last night in the Thursday night football game, as Kiernan will send this one through the uprights. Good. And Grandville stretches it to 36-15. 10 seconds in to the final quarter. What a run by Jaden Terry. And the Dogs stretch it back out. We'll be right back.
Hey, football fans, West Michigan Plumbers, Fitters, and Service Trades Local Union 174 is taking applications for apprenticeship from October 16th through October 27th. UA Local 174 apprentices earn great wages, excellent benefits, and paid training. Serving West Michigan since 1891. Find more information at ua174.org. That's ua174.org.
Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. Welcome back to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Jaden Terry with his electric third rushing touchdown of the night to go along with a 72-yard receiving TD for the sophomore. He had a 5-touchdown game earlier, but maybe a more impressive 4 touchdowns that he has had so far tonight. Kiernan will send this one into the end zone as Amon Edwards lets it go. Edmonds lets it go, and here comes the East Kentwood attack. 11:50 in the fourth, and down 3 scores again, and they're going to have to push the pace down the field once again, Chandler.
Yeah, I think the last time they were out, had to execute pretty quickly, move down the field. We're spreading the ball around, getting the ball out quickly, passing the ball to get down the field. I think you see a very similar attack here. Try to attack, get the ball out, let the receivers try to make some plays down the field, but time's starting to work against them.
So far, LSA Conda has kind of been the go-to guy, at least in terms of the scoring plays. He has both of their touchdowns in this contest, as Casey Joppy will go to work, and they'll go to work spreading the field 4 wide with Conda as the tailback right here. Grandville uses Josh Crater, that 5th quarter rule sophomore, as a cornerback right here. Joppy on the drop to pass. Rolling out and the pressure coming. Dumped and hauled in over the 30-yard line and dragged out of bounds for the first down by the streaking Kendrick New. That'll move the chains. 11:42 in the fourth, 36-15. A good chain mover right there from EK. Grandville had some pressure, but again, like I said, it's interesting to see. Coach Steele talked about Josh Crater. He's their JV quarterback. They like him a lot, and the second he's eligible as a 5th quarter guy in the 4th quarter, they bring him out in this moment right here for the Dogs, as East Kentwood will spread the field with empty backfield, 5 wide again here for Joppy on the drop to pass. Joppy clutching and firing left side. Shamara White unable to corral that one for the first down off the loose coverage from Sanchez and Crater. 2nd and 10 for the Bulldog 38.
Yeah, the coverage playing off once again, going 10 yards just past the chains and come back along the sideline. A very far throw, almost from the opposite hash for Joppy to try to get the ball there. Delivered a pretty accurate throw, but right through the hands of his receiver.
Joppy will spread him again, 5 wide set with 11.5 to go in the ball game. Joppy hauled in again for the first down by Caden Holt, and he's got it up to around the 40-yard line. Every time they've needed the 15-yard or so conversion, they've gone to Caden Holt. He gets another one right there to move the chains.
Holt, leading receiver on the night for the Falcons, approaching 100 yards. Another big chunk play right there across the middle of the field.
Now Rocky the stop for the Bulldogs. And it'll be up to the Bulldog 41-yard line right here. Again, the Falcons will spread it 5 wide, which has been probably their most popular formation of the evening. Out of the gun, Joppy clutching, going deep, and missing his intended streaking Edmonds down the sideline. Rojas on the coverage, and that'll make it 2nd and 10, right back where they were at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, both receiver and corner there lost the football. Rojas trying to get back and make up some ground in coverage. as well as the receiver Edmonds trying to get down the field, and both lost sight of the football and ended up overrunning it.
Sophomore Edmonds certainly has got some speed to his game. We've seen him streaking down the field a few times already. LSA Conda back into the backfield here as Casey Joppy gets his unit ready, and Grandville will go to a 3-down front this time. Joppy looking deep, now tucking. Joppy made a man miss over the 40 and walked out of bounds as he was escorted out by Emery Moody, short of the first down, up around the 30-yard line right here.
Ball's down at the 31. We do have an
injured player for the Bulldogs. That is Brett Becker, somewhat slow to get up right here. They'll look to stretch him out a little bit right here. Both teams go back to their sidelines. I don't think this is going to last too long, so we'll stay with you. Of course, thanks to Farmers Insurance, Centennial Securities. Thank them as much as possible for their presenting sponsorship of Michigan Game Night. Our eye is out for the Farmers Insurance play of the game. The Centennial Securities winning game plan best play call of the game, along with the Rainbow Grill player of the game, and the Car Center hit of the game. And I think we, at least player of the game right now, Chandler, I think we are starting at least to get that one a little bit wrapped up right now as the training staff continues to try to stretch out Brett Becker, who's coming back to his feet.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of pretty good performances out here tonight, but I think one that really stands out to this point, Jaden Terry doing a little bit of everything on the ground, also the receiving touchdown. See still almost 11 minutes here to go for someone to make the case to try to top it or for Terry to add to his night, but it's been a pretty good game so far for Jaden Terry.
We've seen that kid add to the big nights quite often throughout his career when he's gotten in these sort of moments. So East Kentwood will actually move the chains here. 1st and 10. Joppy was able to just move the chains on that last run. They'll spread them with a 5-wide set right here once again with the senior quarterback at the controls. Grandville bringing the pressure. Joppy slipping by Moody and getting hauled in at the 30-yard line by Reed Graverson. Grandville brought the blitz against the 5-down front. Joppy decided to run. He got no further than the 30 with Reed Graverson waiting for him.
Yeah, you just mentioned potential hit of the game. I think we might have seen one right there. Reed Graverson coming up, delivering the blow on Joppy in the middle of the field. The initial rush from the defensive line, Joppy able to step through the pressure and escape the pocket, but Reed Graverson there delivers the big hit to clean it up.
A really big one. They'll spread the field again. We always see this later in games. Coach Landis likes to start bringing the pressure a little bit more. He'll show it once again with the empty backfield, and he'll bring it again. Joppy clutching, firing left side, hauled in by Shamar White. He'll twist it over the 15 for the first down right here. Sanchez on the tackle. 9:51 to go, 36-15 Grandville, and second straight play right there. Grandville defense gambles a little bit right there. They had the good play the first time, but this time with the open man able to find him, Joppy moves the chains.
Falcons a little better prepared to counter the attack and the blitz from the Bulldogs, able to quickly get the ball out. White catches it, and even though the Falcons adding on some yardage and moving down the field, taking quite a bit of time.
Joppy will spread them 5 wide once again with 9:22 and less in this ball game. Joppy looking for Caden Holt. A penalty marker is down against Crater, as I think Holt was able to somehow haul that one in, and I think there could be a face mask coming up against the Bulldog sophomore Crater after that play.
Yeah, Crater trying to time it, trying to go for the football. He saw it the whole way. It was just a step late, and it did look like might have got a piece of the face mask as he was actually going for the football, but his hand's right around the area of the face mask of Holt trying to secure the catch.
That is what the call was, and immediately Josh Crater coming over had a word with Coach Landis, and then Coach Stiegel was settling down Coach Landis. You know that it's a fired up drive when it's Coach Stiegel that's the one that's settling down the other parts of the coaching staff right now. I think a really good performance, of course, from Grandville top to bottom tonight, but I still think a few things that this staff may be looking at in terms of cleaning up within some moments. EK, 1st and goal from the 7, bring the I form back out. Deep back is LSA Conda. Fullback is Savante Scott. .13 to go. Conda has scored a couple times in this opportunity already, and look at this rush up the middle from the Bulldogs. Braylon Haney, Carson Kubzak met Conda at the handoff point for a loss of a couple back behind the 10-yard line. How about a loss of 5 yards on an I-form handoff?
Yeah, the Bulldogs just timed that one up. They kind of knew that's what the Falcons have been doing a lot of. They go to that I-form look and try to get Kondo and the handoff going downhill right up the middle between the center guard gap there and just timed it perfectly.
Immediately spread units back out on the field for both teams. This is exactly what we're talking about, multiple offense versus multiple defense. Grandville's been changing up, 4-man front, 3-man front. EK's been doing everything from spread sets with 5 wide to the tight end I formation. They've done a little of everything, both teams have, and it's a 2nd and goal from the 12-yard line. Stepping up, throwing. It's caught into the end zone. Touchdown, East Kentwood. Kendrick New finding the end zone, and EK gets one back.
Kendrick New running the underneath route all the way across the field, forcing the defender to try to chase him, and New just too fast. Joppy waits until he's across the middle, out of traffic, and then able to deliver the ball to him and just let him run.
36-21. EK will look to add the XP with Ryan Moore.
On the snap is number 22, Chicago. On the hold, the case of Joppy. Ryan Moore with the point after attempt. On the stop, flag.
Kick is good, but penalty marker down on the far side. Looks like Grandville came offside. They did. And the try will be attempted again. And it looks like East Kentwood will just kick the point after again right here. 8:15 to go. And again, will be Joppy to hold, and the senior Moore looking to add the extra point. Moore, one of 4 kickers listed on this EK roster. Rockford 21, Caledonia 10, the last score update I saw from that contest as well, also on Michigan Sports Radio tonight, but this one getting a little bit closer down the stretch as EK gets one back with 8 minutes to go. Moore's second attempt is also good. 36-22, 8:15 to go from Bulldog Stadium. We'll be right back on the other side of this.
Then let's take a look. As I mentioned over the phone, wear and tear.
Oh man, they're never gonna buy this thing. Wear and tear? Well, there's the coffee stain on the seat. It needs new brakes. All 4 wheels squeak. The passenger door doesn't even have a handle. Not to mention that one time I went to my uncle's farm and backed up into a truck full of shit.
Should about cover it. You're all set.
Oh.
Don't overthink it. Seller to Weller.
There's something for everyone on Pizza Ranch's legendary buffet. Our pizza buffet features hot, cheesy goodness, slice after slice after slice. Try our signature pizzas or request your favorite combination with our Buffet Your Way option, and you'll get the first piece. With endless possibilities, you're sure to find your ranch favorites. Everyone will agree that cactus bread is the perfect dessert to end your meal. For legendary food that everyone loves, there's so
All right, welcome back. Game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with 36-22. EK finding the end zone. This time their senior receiver, Kendrick New, crossing the field into the end zone off the 12-yard connection from Casey Joppy. And Grandville's offense comes back out. 8:15 on the clock. Chandler, and a really good chance for the Bulldogs to begin to ice this one quite a bit, I would say. It is going to be an onside kick try, though, as it's rolled up by the Falcons to their own sideline. A penalty marker comes out. I think there was some legal touching on that one as it rolled early. So the Falcons went to the onside kick, but Grandville will be getting the football as it went out of bounds also as well. So call the flag on whatever you want. Grandville getting ready to take over the football right here.
Yeah, the Falcons had a chance to recover that one. The ball went 10 yards and was right along the sideline when the Bulldogs return team looked a bit surprised. They were not expecting the onside and really did not have anybody around the football to try to recover it. Just the ball bounced out of bounds before they could jump on it.
So the Bulldogs will get to start right inside enemy territory at the 49-yard line. Cash Ruff will lead his unit out, as the Bulldogs will also have a very good chance, not just to put points on the board one more time, but to try to ice this clock down just a bit more. Carson Kapko is stymied immediately at the line of scrimmage as Zua and company had it clogged up in the middle of the run lane, just a yard up to the 48-yard line for Carson Kapko here.
Carson Kapko still remains the Bulldogs' leading rusher in terms of yards, 84 on the night. Didn't add to his total there, but still has been a very productive night from the fullback.
Bulldogs break it out here. It'll stay at the 49-yard line on the official mark, and it'll stay 2nd and 10 right here. Ruff turning and looking down the field. He'll tuck it. The senior quarterback for the Bulldogs streaking past the 25 with a burst of speed and a shoulder down to the 10-yard line. What a run on the turn upfield. Gabe Wolf shouldered him out of bounds, but Cash Ruff, for maybe the first time this year, really turning on those jets, and he can really move for a big 6'4" quarterback.
Yeah, I think definitely moving pretty quick there as he, on the play action pass, was rolling out to his left. Didn't see anything he liked down the field and just able to tuck it and go. Split through a couple defenders. I think they were not expecting him to be running that fast and able to get right between him and down the field inside the 10.
7.5 to go. 36-22 Grandville, and a big one down the field up to the 9-yard line for the Bulldogs, who have a chance to cash in one more time right here. Ruff to Jaden Terry, bouncing, driving down to the 1-yard line. Terry bottled up again. I tell you what, I've seen a lot of running backs out of this system for the Bulldogs in the last couple of years, and we know it's not like it's a secret how special Jaden Terry is of those running backs that we've seen. He has this eye. If he gets the football in his hands inside, say, the 15-yard line, the way he manages to charge and just stay on his feet and bottle ahead and just normally somehow wind up in the end zone is a special gift. Like, yes, he gets a lot of the touches, the primary amount of the touches inside the 10, but he seems to almost always score or get down to the 1 just like this. Ruff will break it out. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. It's Jaden again, and he's in again. Touchdown, Jaden Terry. 4th on the ground. He had one more through the air. What a game.
Jaden Terry continues to pay off for the Bulldogs. Again, inside 10-yard line. A couple attempts at it, but able to punch it in from 2 yards out. Yeah, we mentioned that he was well on his way to a player of the game, had a lot of time left, and looks like he's going to add another touchdown to his total. Late penalty flag on the field, but I think the touchdown going to count.
There were a couple Bulldogs getting pushed out of the pile. There may have been some pushing and shoving after that play. We'll have to wait to see exactly what this call is going to be. They're out talking to Coach Kimbrough about it. All right, it is an unsportsmanlike on the Bulldogs. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So Grandville coaching staff, including Coach Stiegel, not overly thrilled about that as they work their way back to the sideline after the score. But Jaden Terry's big night has just about put this one away with 6:44 to go in the contest. Karen add the extra point, 42-22 Bulldogs. They can get it back up to a 21-point lead again here. High snap handled by Newville, and Karen able with some pressure charging in on him to add the extra point. And Grandville stretches it 43-22 Grandville. 6:44 to go in the 4th, and we will be right back.
Then let's take a look. As I mentioned over the phone, wear and tear.
Oh man, they're never gonna buy this thing. Wear and tear? Well, there's the coffee stain on the seat. It needs new brakes. All 4 wheels squeak. The passenger door doesn't even have a handle. Not to mention that one time I went to my uncle's farm and backed up into a truck full of shit.
Should about cover it. You're all set.
Oh.
Don't overthink it. Seller to Weller.
There's something for everyone on Pizza Ranch's legendary buffet. Our pizza buffet features hot, cheesy goodness, slice after slice after slice. Try our signature pizzas or request your favorite combination with our Buffet Your Way option, and you'll get the first piece. With endless possibilities, you're sure to find your ranch favorites. Everyone will agree that cactus bread is the perfect dessert to end your meal. For legendary food that everyone loves, there's so
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you, 43-22 Grandville. If you're still watching this and you haven't been tuning into the Caledonia-Rockford game, it is all Rockford. A 25-point lead now, 35-10 lead for the Rams, whose passing game is starting to get really dangerous down the field right now. A team that's starting to look really dangerous. It's a pooch kick sent away, and again, Karen will send this one out of bounds, and that'll give up some good field position to around midfield for East Kentwood. 6:44 to go in the 4th, 43-22. Kind of slow-moving 4th quarter right now in this one, but Grandville up 21 with 6:44 to go, and pretty well have this thing getting put away. And again, Jaden Terry, we've seen some really, really good running backs. We saw his older brother, of course, for Grandville do so many things out of the fullback position. But Jaden Terry, in his second year as a sophomore, just continues to wow us and do a lot of special things. Another one of those nights, certainly tonight, 5 total touchdowns, 4 of them coming on the ground.
Yeah, he's been super impressive. I think just the hard running, especially in the red zone tonight. We've seen some of the big plays from him, of course, the speed, but some of the strong running near the goal line, finishing strong near the goal line, falling into the end zone. That's something that gets overlooked in this offense. Of course, he's getting the first looks at it, but capitalizing on it more often than not.
So a bit of a meeting and some confusion right here as the officials are getting things set. So the other thing off that first kick is the 15-yard unsportsmanlike wasn't initially given. Now the ball just being placed down at the 50, and I think that's where East Kentwood's offense is going to begin things right here. At least that's what it would appear.
Yeah, it looks like after the kick out of bounds penalty added on top of the 15 yards from the extra point, or the touchdown rather, the unsportsmanlike conduct gonna give the Falcons football right at midfield.
6:44 to go, and here comes Casey Joppy and company, the senior that's looked pretty darn good tonight for East County. He's had this field spread a lot, and he's been forced to try to get this game going on his arm. For certain, got his first passing touchdown of the game on the last drive, and he'll spread them again as Grandville this time will bring a 4-down front against the spread field. Hauled in at the 40-yard line and twisted ahead for the first down on the grab from Shamara White. And then I'll move the chains again. Again, it's that duo of, in particular, White and Holt. They've been the constant go-to men for Joppy all night long. Joppy to spread the field here from the 40. He'll drop to pass, and now he'll look to tuck it down. Running in the backfield and slung down from behind. Carson Kubzak, the sack, and it'll be 2nd and long.
Joppy trying to escape there. The pressure from the defensive line in an obvious passing situation surrounds Joppy. Joppy trying to escape, but able to grab him around the shoulder pads and throw him to the ground for a sack.
Moody gets credited for the sack as well. This defensive line, Chandler, it's a unit that they're switching up a little bit less than last year. They've stuck with the main 4 of Moody, Kubzak, Jackson, and Becker for the most part, but it has been the leading element of this Grandville defense, in particular late in the games when the pass rush has been getting going. 2nd and 16, and Joppy clutching and throwing down the field, and it's hauled in by a leaping Gordon. The juniors got it up to the 39-yard line, just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
On the catch was number 11, Tasai Gordon. Garrett Naraki on the tackle.
Naraki on the stop, and Joppy will bring Konda out once again and utilize the 4-wide set on 3rd down. 3rd and 10 right here. He'll drop to pass. Joppy, flush from the pocket, chased by Haney. Thrown downfield, hauled in again past the 20-yard line. It's Caden Holt moving the chains again. Another good grab from the junior, who continues to really, really impress in this game. When they've needed that mid-range yardage, he's been there all night long, CT.
Yeah, easily the leading receiver in yardage for the Falcons on the night. That catch puts him well over 100. Another chunk play.
4:49 to go, 43-22 Grandville. Bulldogs looking to get to 3-1 on the year and open up the OK Red season 2-0 before they'll have rival Hudsonville on homecoming next week. Joppy off the clap and the drop to pass. Has good containment, intercepted. What a job to snag that one. Chasing up the sideline on the pick is Ethan Newville. What a job to read and pick off another one at the goal line. Newville, this first INT of the year.
Perfect read by Newville. Trying to hit the comeback route right at the goal line or near it. Newville's seen that a bunch of times here tonight, recognizes it, able to get in front, time it perfectly, and step in front of the receiver. The receiver never saw him coming. Newville able to get in front and then return it a ways down the field, but another interception for the Bulldogs defense and another stand in the red zone or near it as the Falcons are moving the football.
Another pick at the goal line in this game as well. They've had 2 in this game. They had 1 last week. I mean, this defense certainly finds a way with a lot of really, really smart players in the secondary to make things happen around the goal line. And this time it's Ethan Newville with his first pick of this season for the very highly touted junior who will probably see playing the quarterback position next year for the Bulldogs. It's Easton Sadinsky charging over the 30-32. We've not seen many carries for 6 in maroon in this second half for the Bulldogs, but he gets a good one right there for 4 yards.
Yeah, Sadinsky only his 7th carry on the night.
And he had like the first 3 or 4 of the game.
He did quite a few early on. It's been a lot of Kopko and Terry, though, late in this game. Sadinsky still productive there, though, getting a touch, picking up 4 yards.
Under 4 minutes to go, and Grandville certainly just working on grinding the clock down. Out of the 2 tight end tee, it'll be Cash Ruff to lead the offensive unit on 2nd and 6, and it's a pitch to Carson Kopko. Kopko gets just around the edge past the 35-yard line, where he's stymied by Terrence Kabanda, the junior, just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Grandville from the 35.
Yeah, definitely a drive right here where the game pretty well in the balance, just trying to eat up as much clock as you can, pick up couple chunk yards, sure, a couple yards here away from picking up a first down and keeping the clock moving. It's the main goal now for the Grandville offense.
Champ Henry in on the stop as well. We've heard his name a couple of times tonight. Henry, I believe he actually was a Grandville student at one point in time in his younger days, and eventually transferred here to East Kentwood while in high school. Grandville will split out a tight end here out of the tee on a heavy, unbalanced formation, trying to get East Kentwood to jump offside, and Coach Stiegel will reset things. Now Coach Stiegel will call a timeout. That was Naraki as the standing tight end off the side of the lines went to that little unbalanced formation. 2:57 in the fourth, 43-22. We'll welcome you inside the press box here at Bulldog Stadium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, and yes, ET, I mean, again, a good opportunity here to grind things down clockwise for the Bulldogs, but the defense making another stand at the goal line. This was a game that certainly wasn't perfect. I'm sure the coaches will have a lot to say about that in that regard as well, but I think it's the kind of game where Grandville found a way to make some big plays today, and I think that's what they have to be happy about.
Yeah, definitely. I think, when you look back at the numbers, as we will here in a couple minutes, a lot of yardage given up by this Bulldogs defense, but they've made the plays when they've really needed to in the red zone and near the goal line. A couple interceptions, stood strong and forced a turnover and downs as well in there. So I think even though some plays down the field and a lot of yardage, they've been able to pick their moments and make some plays when they needed them.
So on a night that we're starting to figure out the pecking order of the OK Red a little bit more, the Bulldogs will be looking to get their second OK Red win. Easton Sadinsky charging. He will not have enough to move the chains. It'll be 4th and 1, and Grandville will be looking for a conversion here that could keep things moving along, but there's going to be a timeout on the field called right here before this next play, and it's actually called by Coach Stiegel and the Bulldogs. He wants to talk about it. 4th and 1 from their own 37 right here. So Daniel Wiley is kind of limping off the field as well, the terrific sophomore who we saw defensively also make some big plays at the end of the game last week, but we haven't talked about him enough. This offensive line, and the running backs, of course, get all the love for the numbers they put up, but this offensive line, we've seen a lot of really, really good ones for Coach Stiegel. I mean, Mike Medeiros has been a little bit nicked up tonight. We haven't seen him at tight end, but they are so good up front that they decided to take Mike Medeiros, a 2-year already starter at tackle, and move him to tight end to be one more guy because this line is just so unbelievably good, and we've seen it all year.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, of course, the running backs are talented, but they need a line to run behind, and this offensive line would make a lot of running backs look really good, and they're able to move a lot of guys around and move some size along the defensive line, open up some holes.
All right, they'll go for it. Jaden Terry's got the first down, and he pushes the pile all the way to the 45-yard line, riding those blockers on ahead and moving the chains. Jaden Terry, I think that was Daniel Wiley helping leading the way right there as Terry followed him right on through and moves it up to the 45-yard line. 2.5 to go, fourth quarter, and the Dogs letting the clock run down, and the crowd starting to get charged up here on the second home game of the year, the first home game after the school year started here, and pretty good show out as well for Grandville. Of course, homecoming and a rivalry game next week. It doesn't get any bigger than that against Hudsonville. 2 tight end tee, 2:14 to go, and the Dogs are beginning to put this one away as the defense crowds in here for the Falcons. Give to Sadinsky, bottled up with nowhere to go. Zua helped meet him right up the middle, right there, and nowhere to go for Sadinsky on that carry. Nua Diatie also in on the stop right there. So the clock will tick under 1:45 to go by the time the Bulldogs snap this one again.
The Bulldogs all going to be able to run down the clock here. Looks like East Kentwood does have 3 timeouts remaining, but electing not to use them, and the clock going to continue to run here. A couple more snaps, and looks like the Bulldogs will have this one wrapped up.
Dogs changing up the unit a little bit. See Jackson coming off the field, Bruker coming on, and a few other changes as well. Justin LaCroix is on. Justin LaCroix, the junior for the Bulldogs, and the younger brother of Braden, who had never played football, as Grandville will call a timeout as they ran it all the way down. But Justin LaCroix, Coach Stiegel told us in the preseason, he never has played football until this season, and already making some big strides. And one of those guys is a junior on a young team that you can only know if he's got a little bit of what his brother had inside of him. He's a little bit bigger, I think, than his brother as well. He really could be a unique guy at tight end. But with that said, Naraki's a sophomore. Connolly, also a junior. Lauka they like as a junior. I mean, they're loaded with tight end and talent all over the field as well. And that's what we've talked about this Grandville team. And again, we're barely starting 2023. We don't want to talk about 2024, but this is still, if last year's team was young, this year's team is somehow still almost younger, even with a lot of those guys playing a second year. And that's what makes this year's team and their week-to-week growth so interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what really sets the bar pretty high for this Grandville team. I mean, you look at them, and of course they're expecting to compete for the OK Red, but it gets overlooked at just how young this team is and still playing really good football.
Second unit of backs out there. This is Junie Figueroa twisting to just shy of the 50-yard line. Figueroa, a guy that wound up having to spend last year injured. I think he was going to be part of the running back mix last year, but suffered an injury in the preseason. He's come back, expect to play some linebacker. We've seen him in at running back a little bit as well. And now East Kentwood will use a timeout with 1:05 to go. They'll decide to stop it right here. We were one play away from ending this game, but now the timeout will get called, and we'll get to stay here for a little bit longer. We'll stay with you again. Celebration, though, already beginning for this Grandville student section, which has stayed the course for the night, 43-22. And the Bulldogs looking for back-to-back OK Red wins to open things up, and back-to-back OK Red wins with very, very similar scores. A 22-point win last week and a 21-point win as we stand right now. So good start for the Bulldogs as they begin OK Red play here.
Yeah, they've handled business, able to overcome a rough start last week, controlled the game most of the way here against East Kentwood, and never take for granted starting 2-0 in the OK Red, regardless of who you're playing.
Look like a couple of tough losses here for East Kentwood, of course, who remember were up 14-0 before losing that game last time. And out of the timeout, Cash Ruff is throwing down the field, diving attempt incomplete, as he was looking for Easton Sadinsky. I don't know if that's a little bit of a statement from Coach Stiegel right there, CT, is I don't know if he necessarily loved that timeout that East Kentwood called, and now we have another timeout. But I think there's statements being made back and forth right here by each of the coaching staffs a little bit. As now actually Grandville changed the unit out, and they are actually not a timeout. They're gonna punt the ball away here with Avon Cott. So apologies on the second timeout, but still Grandville taking a shot right there on 3rd and long, and like I said, maybe just a little bit of a statement at the end right there, back and forth by both coaching staffs.
Yeah, they almost had it too. Almost a fantastic catch by Sadinsky. He was open. Cash Ruff just overthrew him.
Cott will boot this one away to dual returners, and Edmonds will watch it go inside the 10 and get touched up by Sanchez and company all the way inside the 5. I mean, it caught East Kentwood off guard. It caught me off guard of all the things I was expecting to see right there, especially because I want to remind everyone I'm also running the camera tonight, so that also is part of what's going on. So if you've ever seen a play that potentially got missed at some point in time, that was our producer's fault. That was the producer's fault. That's who it was. Blame it on the producer.
Okay, we can do that.
Who's the producer, Chandler? Doesn't matter.
I think that's also you.
I don't know what I am. I don't know anything about what we're doing tonight so far. We made it to the end of the night. That's all that really matters.
Almost.
We almost made it. Thank you. I thank you. 42 seconds on the clock. 43-22. Big day tomorrow. Victory day for Grandville. It's such a great, great day in this community as well. Casey Joppy will bring the Kentwood offense out one more time, trailing by 21, and they'll look to try to get some more points maybe on the board here right before the end of this ball game. Joppy dropping and clutching and throwing to the far side, hauled in and some speed out of bounds for the first down on the turn by Gordon. The junior moves the chains and gets the clock stopped at 36. Haney knocked him out. You know, it was a night where we were going to learn a lot. We were going to learn a lot, of course, in the OK Green with the Muskegon-Mona Shores matchup. We'll wait to see what the score is there. We were, of course, going to learn a lot in this conference with the Rockford-Cal game, and we learned, I think, what we thought we probably knew is it's unable to be gathered by Caden Holt right here off the fire. 31 seconds on the clock, but the pecking order of the OK Red, and maybe you can squabble over 2 and 3 and how much being 1-1 versus Rockford versus 2-0 matters, but the pecking order of the OK Red starting to get set right now as we go into the middle and the stretch run of the year. Of course, Grandville will have back-to-back weeks in weeks 7 and 8. We'll have to see Rockford and Caledonia. So all that's still ahead to play for, but we're starting to see things getting figured out, and a lot of results I think are kind of in line of what we maybe expected.
Yeah, definitely. I think Rockford-Cal playing it early on in the year. It's going to be two of the top teams, of course. The Bulldogs going to have opportunity to take on both of them and make a statement there as well.
Amon Edmonds twisting into the open field, and here goes the sophomore. He's gone. Amon Edmonds into the open field. Touchdown. He's Kentwood. A little setup play over the middle of the field. He broke a tackle, and the speedy sophomore goes 85 to the house, and East Kentwood gets a late score with 11 seconds in the fourth.
An explosive play from Edmonds there, catching the football and then just running away from the rest of the defense. Not exactly what the Bulldogs were looking for there, as they're just trying to get their defense to get a stop or at least limit the damage there and get off the field. But the East Kentwood offense making the most of their opportunity with under a minute to go, going the distance, 85 yards.
They've been trying to get the speedy sophomore going a couple times already in this game, and I think East Kentwood's coaching staff, Coach Kimbrough and company, I think they have an interesting guy out of the slot and maybe a little bit of a kind of gadget type player, a little bit undersized. Edmonds, of course, just a sophomore. They'll go for 2 right here, 43-28. Joppy dropping. Pressure coming off his back foot, incomplete. 2-point conversion is not good. It's 43-28. We'll stay with you through this transition as we work our way to the end of the game. Centennial Securities and Farmers Insurance, the presenting sponsors of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We've got the Centennial Securities halftime show coming up where we'll give away the Farmers Insurance Play of the Game along with plenty of other awards, so make sure you stay tuned to that. We'll look ahead to next week as, of course, it'll be Grandville versus Hudsonville right back here on Homecoming on Game Night. Also, we will have the MGN Football Tailgate Report. Our weekly podcast will be out. We'll be talking with one of Grandville's senior captains. I don't know who we're going to talk to yet coming off of this contest. A couple different ways we, of course, can go with that. So that'll be out early next week as well. So you all know the drill, I think, at this point in time. If you're a frequent flyer here with MGN, what our weekly setup looks like week to week. 11 seconds on the clock, and I would assume that EK will be maybe looking onside kick it one more time. See one more score update. Talk about the OK Green. 42-21. Muskegon handles Mona Shores. We've been saying it all year on the Tailgate Report. If you're tuning in after Muskegon lost the first 2 games of the year, they're going to be okay. And guess what? They're okay, Chandler.
Yeah, definitely. I think Muskegon team that even though they had a couple losses against really quality teams, a big win last week against Holland, and then Mona Shores team that's also going to be in the playoffs more than likely, and Muskegon taking care of business.
Gibson Connolly fielding the grounder, and the Bulldogs will take over. I'll expect a knee or maybe a shot down the field, and we'll get out of here as the Bulldogs will pick up OK Red, win number 2 on the year right here, and they will look to go to 3-1 on the early part of the campaign. Again, the only loss was to Davison, which if you are a subscriber to Goose Poop and his metrics, he has Davison as like a 56% chance to win the state championship, and by far his top-ranked team in the state of Michigan right now through the first couple of weeks. So the Bulldogs into the victory formation. There is the kneel, and Grandville goes to 3-1 on the season. 43-28 the final. A grinding affair early in this contest, but that certainly changed down the stretch as Grandville was able to find their groove. EK had a couple of offensive moments as well. The fireworks go, and we have a Bulldog win in this one here for the first time at home within the OK Red season here on MGN. And we'll now take you in to our Centennial Securities halftime show as fireworks show continues as well. But CT, wrap it up for us. Solid win. Like we said, maybe a little messy, a little sloppy, but it was a playmaking win for the Bulldogs here tonight.
Yeah, it was. I think definitely the way things closed out could have been a little bit different, but the Bulldogs going to take it. They were in control almost the entire way. The defense giving up a lot of yards, but at the same time made some big plays when they needed to. And the offense, of course, continued to roll. I think after what looked like going to be just one possession each in the first quarter, it turned into kind of a up and back down the field. Going back and forth, scoring a lot of points, but I think the Bulldogs going to take it, even though it got a little out of control at times.
Yeah, all right. We've got a lot to get to here on the Centennial Securities post-game show. We got some awards, we got some stats, and we got a lot more as well to get to, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Grandville.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit foldingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. A class is elected each year and then honored at an induction ceremony in the fall. They also prevent annual events in support of West Michigan athletics, and they raise funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow them on Facebook or check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grshof.com.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
Welcome back, Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here. It is our Centennial Securities post-game show as Grandville picks up the win here tonight, 43-28, your final in this contest. Second half scoring recap first. Of course, Grandville led 21-8 at the break. In the second half, we'll go quickly because there was a lot of scoring. Cash Ruff found Jaden Terry on a 72-yard strike. Cash Ruff had the 2-point conversion, 29-8. Then it was Conda with an answer for East Kentwood on a 6-yard run. XP good, 29-15. Jaden Terry answered right back with an electric 18-yard run to start the fourth quarter on the first play of the quarter. Extra point was good for the Bulldogs, 36-15. Then Joppy found New from 12 yards out. Extra point good, 36-22. The Bulldogs came back then with Jaden Terry on his 4th rushing, 5th total touchdown of the night. The extra point was good. He plunged in from 2 yards out, by the way, 43-22. Final score, 43-28, after Joppy found the streaking sophomore, not streaking sophomore, it was a screen pass over the middle, essentially, to Edmonds, the sophomore, and Amon Edmonds took it 85 yards to the house, 2-point conversion, no good, 43-28. Final score, Chandler. Some stats from this game, then we'll get to some awards.
All right, we'll go over some of the numbers that jump out here. For East Kentwood, Joppy, quarterback, had 385 passing yards. Most of those were divided among Holt, 114, New with 77, Edmonds, of course, with 89, 85 of those coming on that last touchdown, and White with 49 for the Bulldogs. Cash Ruff had 2 completions for 126 yards, one of those to Sadinsky for 54, the other to Terry for 72. On the ground, Terry 91 yards, Kopko 87, Sadinsky 27, and Cash Ruff 48.
All right, let's do some awards, shall we? Let's get into it. First, our Farmers Insurance play of the game. A lot of options to go, but we're going to go with the end of the first half interception at the goal line from Reed Graverson. A lot of great scoring plays for the Bulldogs, but that INT from Graverson with East Kentwood driving with a chance to make it a 1-score game into the break. Grandville stays up 2. Graverson makes a great play at the goal line. That was kind of the turning point in this football game.
Yeah, it sure was. It looked like the Falcons were going to drive down the field. They were in the red zone, were close to scoring, had worked their way most of the way down the field, and then a great read from Reed Graverson, and seeing the running back in the flat there, they were going to dump it off to him, able to jump it and get the pick.
A great read from Reed for certain for our play of the game. Centennial Securities with our winning game plan for best play call of the game. And remember, Centennial Securities offers the investments and advice for your best financial game plan. We're going to go with, you had a couple options, but I think Grandville going 78 yards, 72 yards to Jaden Terry through the air, breaking him wide open on that play. Coach Stiegel opened up the playbook a couple times tonight in the pass game. Both really were a big part of the winning game plan of the game.
Yeah, I think you could have really gone with either one of the 2 long touchdown passes, the one to Sadinsky or the one to Terry, but Jaden Terry out of the backfield going down. We've seen him start to get involved in the pass game a little bit, but that one deep down the field, catching it and then also outrunning a defender. It wasn't just a breakaway touchdown. Had to fight off a last-minute defender there as well.
All right, Rainbow Grill presents our player of the game. Remember, Rainbow Grill here in Grandville, open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Monday through Saturday, and currently half a sandwich and a side you can get for $9.09 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for your lunch daily, and also wet burritos on Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I know Chandler for certain will be finding his way there on a Wednesday at some point in time that he's working out in this area. Jaden Terry. He had 5 touchdowns. He had 4 on the ground. He had the big receiving touchdown, kind of the longest we've seen him involved in. The receiving touchdown was insane. The breakaway speed, the crashing 15-yard touchdown run as well, plunged in the end zone a couple times. Jaden was darn good tonight.
Yeah, a couple of really impressive touchdown runs. I mean, he had one punched in from 2 yards, but even the couple that were longer, breaking free from some tackles, able to spin out of some arm tackles. I think just an all-around really strong performance. We talked about during the game a little bit of how he gets a lot of touches near the goal line, but I think that's because he capitalizes on them so much. He's just a lot of times has that nose for the end zone.
Jaden Terry, the player of the game, but only one player had a couple awards tonight. We go to our Car Center hit of the game. How about Reed Graverson in the 4th quarter? East Kentwood spread the field 5 wide at one point. Grandville brought the blitz. Casey Joppy got free, but he only got about a yard because Reed Graverson met him in the middle of the defense. We saw the interception from Graverson, but as the leader of the defense, the cerebral plays that he makes is, again, the 2 sophomores plus the junior in the middle of this defense. You know, man, we're seeing that week by week and year-over-year growth for sure out of Reed Graverson leading this defense.
Yeah, you can see the type of plays that he makes was a big part of shutting down some of the run game early on, then dropping back and had to play a lot of coverage as the Falcons were throwing the football. He either way was coming up and making some plays, knowing and leading that defense, having them fly around and being a big part of what they were doing out there.
Absolutely. All right, everyone's starting to clear off the field a little bit here at Bulldog Stadium. We'll clear out of here as well. Again, what is next week? Well, you know, should be out Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday, based on how we get things up. If you've never tuned into the MGN YouTube page for our Tailgate Report show each and every week, we'll be back with one this week to break this game down. To preview next week, we give rankings from around the area. We have a lot more fun, and we're in the middle of our Captain's Corner segment series that we are doing right now. You saw one in the pregame show today when we talked to Avon Cott. We'll be talking with another one of Grandville's senior captains, one of their 5 captains coming up this week. Don't know which one yet. We'll have to kind of make the decision based on this game. We week by week try to decide, like, all right, who had the best game to be able to go in and talk about that. So we'll decide that, see who's available, and we'll have one of those interviews. So certainly everyone likes to mostly hear from the players. They don't actually care what Chandler and I ever have to say. That's the one thing I've learned. It's the episodes that go are when there's players and then coaches that people, especially players, that everyone gets to talk to. So always great, and thanks to Avon Kopp for coming on with us this week. I said hi to Avon before the game as well, so it was terrific to be able to have him on. And of course, next Friday, 6:30, we're on the air right back here. It is homecoming, and it is Hudsonville. It's the Border War rival coming in. Chandler, unfortunately, you are going to miss this broadcast, and actually we'll have no broadcast next week because I have to miss that one. So a little bit of kind of a shaky midseason run from us here, but Bulldogs looking to keep up the momentum. Tell me some of your first initial thoughts before we get out of here about that rivalry game. Hudsonville played a tough one against Grand Haven. I haven't seen the final score yet.
We'll have to see what that was, but yeah, I think a big one for what the Bulldogs could start off the OK Red season potentially 3-0, but Hudsonville's looked much better. A chance for them as well to make a statement against Grandville. See what that final score was. That's going to be very interesting. I think that'll be the first thing we're looking at as soon as we're off the air here.
Absolutely. All right, Bulldogs moved to 3-1 on the year. East Kentwood falls to 1-3. They've had some tough losses in that. Well, I think a team that's right to rebound for the second half of the season. Grandville also still 2-0 and still unbeaten within the OK Red on a night that most of the eyeballs around that Rockford-Caledonia game. Grandville able to take care of business here at Bulldog Stadium. For Chandler Timmer, I am Nate Dreyer. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for sticking with us tonight through whatever teething issues there may have been on our first football video broadcast here on MGN. We're really excited about some of the growth that we've been able to do, and we'll continue to perfect things throughout the rest of this season. All right. Let's get out of here. We'll see everyone for the Tailgate Report on our YouTube page middle of next week. We'll be back at 6:30. Next Friday is Grandville takes on Hudsonville on homecoming right back here at Bulldog Stadium.